What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends.
What up? Good morning to my friends and family. How y'all doing today? Let me get one word in the chat. Mental health check. Let me get one word in the chat for a mental health check to see where y'all at. I need to know how my people is feeling this morning on this Wednesday, January 31st, last day of the month. What up to my friends? I see your car. Aline. Can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get that Tej Henley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Let me see what my people in the chat is talking about this morning. Yeah, Peter Investor. My word of the day is recovering. I see you, Fly Girl Candy. Candy, you new here? We got new people here. Shout out to Fly Girl Candy. I'm glad that you talking to us though, baby. Yeah, back to normal, amazing, thankful. Great stock club last night. I agree wholeheartedly. We gonna get there. Driven, great, faithful, grinding, aggressive, said Twisted Pup. Good afternoon, Naptown. Purposeful, breezy, laser focus. Inspired, great, winning. Finally here on time. Been busy, ravishing, rich. I like this. I like how y'all feeling this morning. So we all on the same page. Recalibrated, ready, fulfilled, phenomenal, determined, blessed, violent. You would be named Guns Up Music, right? Beautiful, proper. Shout out to the Miami-Dade County Clerks of the Courts. Work, amazing, explosive, getting to the bag, victorious, bossed up. I like that. Driven, blessed. A little distracted. It's all because of the hoes. Great. What up, swag? Resilient, grateful. Salute to the chat. Blessed, vibrant, grinding, focused, lifted, and prepping. Anton, I'm going through it. My car was hitting total the other day. Okay, well, hold on, Chef. You had insurance though, right? You going through it? Come on, baby. It's just a car. It's just stuff. Are you safe? The fact that you talking right now is the only thing that matters to us. Forget the stuff. Forget the materials. We can replace that, but we can't replace you. If I didn't see you typing in the chat and letting me know that you was good, that you was going through it, I wouldn't even know that anything happened to you. The only thing I care about is you. We can get the stuff back. We can recover from that, but we can't recover from losing you, Chef. So I'm just thankful that you with us. So shout out to Kicking It with a Chef. We're going to talk about that. What up, Antonio? Love, chilling. Stock Club was good, said Sabrina B. Let me talk about Stock Club real quick. So we did our second Stock Club of the year yesterday, prior to me going live on After Hours, and it was popping. It was great. Stock Club is a space, and a Patreon is a space where we deep dive a little bit more. Now it's no man left behind, so we always got to make sure that no matter where you are, no matter how far along or far behind you think you are in your financial journey, we gonna make sure that you get to the bag. So it's things that we can deep dive into a lot more in depth from a financial perspective that we can't really do here because we got to make sure that everybody is getting to the meat and spitting out the bones. But then there we can deep dive really hard. I mean, we going into the graphs, the charts, digging into the hospitality industry, auto industry, technology, upcoming earnings, where we should be allocating our resources, evaluating different financial companies, showing them the difference between the margins and what the revenue is and how you can truly evaluate a company. So it's different. It's absolutely different. Now, let me say this. I did put up this morning, as promised, the recording of the live stream from last night. So anybody that missed it, you can go back and restream it. I would suggest you start with the first Stock Club of the year and then go to the second one. That way that you don't fall behind. But also, if you decide to join the Patreon, since it's the last day of the month, I would actually advise y'all wait till tomorrow. So anybody that's looking to join the Bag Chasers, unless you're getting the annual, which you'll get 15% off the entire year, it's $15. It's $15. So I would suggest you guys join tomorrow, because the best day to join Stock Club, or I'm sorry, the Patreon, the best day to join the Bag Chasers on Patreon is literally the first day of the month. So if you guys are looking to join the Bag Chasers, and you're looking to do some great things and you're looking to run it up, make sure you join it tomorrow. Do not join it today. Join it tomorrow. First thing in the morning, or 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. Eastern. Make sure you join it tomorrow, and then we can get to it. You can restream it. You can get access to everything that we've done before. Make sure you tap into the Discord. The link is in the description of any of the most recent videos, and run it up. But it was an incredible Stock Club. It was great. And the thing that I try to tell people is that Stock Club is not a thing. It's not a fund, right? It's not something that we all putting our money together with. It's me having conversations with you. I take questions on anybody that asks me things financially related. Anything that they looking for, we go and vet out a specific stock. We go and vet out a specific company. We go and vet out a specific ETF. But it's me teaching you how to look at it for yourself. Because if you can get over the lingo, if you can get over the things that they try to keep you as far as gatekeeping you away from being interested in this in the first place, because a lot of y'all may listen to these MSNBCs or these financial reports, or you might even try to look at an analyst call and you don't understand what they're saying, and so it turns you off from it, and then you just go out here gambling, just randomly picking it based off of something that somebody said on Instagram. That's not how you go about investing. That's not how you become an informed investor. That's how you gamble, right? That's how people lose their shirt, and that's why most people lose that day trade and all of that stuff, because they're looking for a quick money. They're looking for a quick come up. We teach being informed. And so I make no money from a fund or anything like that. I want you to truly understand it. It's just like any job, right? If you go into any job, and if you can get over the initial shocking of what happens within technology, or they talking all of this stupid lingo and junk, listen, you just as smart, if not smarter, than a lot of these people that's sitting up on Wall Street. Believe it. Trust me. Believe it. I'm telling you. You're just as smart, if not smarter, than the people that's on Wall Street. They just shooting in the dark. They're not telling you nothing. They're not giving you no insight. They just reporting on what it is that they don't understand the industries the way that you understand it. Because what we doing basically in Stock Club is we're breaking down the barriers so that you'll take the things that you're informed on already, and then you just applying it to it, and then you're using your own insight knowledge. You're taking the 8 things that we look for when we look at a breakdown of company. You're looking at the charts. You're able to compare it, and you use that comparative analysis, and then you get rid of all of the lingo, and then you start to strip it down to what it really is, and you truly understand these companies. You'll understand, oh, okay, this company is not as profitable, or is really profitable right now because it's based off of the times that we live in. But then when you go back to 2022, they're heavily affected by what happened when anything happens within an industry, or a recession, or the pandemic, or anything. So, maybe hospitality in this particular segment may not be ideal for you, but over on this particular side, You might want to go in a hotel. Well, hotels, if you compare them, right, their debt to their liabilities versus their total assets is really comparative, and some of these companies are underwater. So when you able to start looking at it and breaking it down from a C student's perspective, to understand exactly why we invest in the things that we invest in and why we invest long term, and how to really look at a company, and then you take your own insight because you understand cars better than anybody, you understand traveling better than anybody, you understand politics. You now start to look at the inflation, or whether or not the Fed is going to raise the rate differently than everybody else, because when we talk about it on the Millionaire Morning Show, it's going to hit different once you start to get in the stock club and having these conversations. You'll start looking at everything from a business perspective. You'll understand it differently, right? Your mind is going to be trained differently, the same way that we train our minds to look at things from a cultural perspective when we look at what's happening within the news today, right? And so I'm telling you, listen to the people in the chat. Listen to the people in the chat. That's all I got to tell you. We the real deal over here. We don't play no games. We don't scam. We don't do none of that. We just get to the money. We get to the information. We leverage our wisdom. We leverage each other. We help each other. We are truly a family. We want each other to win. We want each other to continue to be successful. We meet up in real life. We do these live streams. We answer questions, and we support each other. We absolutely 100% support. We fund each other's businesses. We invest in each other. We do business with each other. We build restaurants together, right? We do all of this stuff together. We are truly a community, and we're going to build this community one person at a time that's looking to go in the direction that we're going in, right? So if you are interested in rocking out with a group of people that's going in the direction that you want to go in, and you want to get away from all of this victim Olympics and this cultural norms, join it tomorrow. Don't join it today, because I don't want you to get double billed. Join it tomorrow, and we're going to run it up, because we hold each other accountable on doing the right thing, and we are not messing around. We don't care nothing about what's happening outside of us. Only thing we care about is continuing to build each other up. That's just the truth. That's real. So shout out to everybody that was tapped in the Stock Club and that's a part of the Bag Chasers. We appreciate y'all. Also, make sure you tap into that Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Let me acknowledge a couple of super chats, and then we're going to get it popping. If y'all was a part of After Hours yesterday, then you know why I'm saying that. It's a little different on After Hours. We get a little bit more uncut. Shout out to my dog Spaces. I appreciate you for rocking out with me. Enos Luby says, what up, though? An update post-pitch with you. I was at 590 subs today. We had 2260. 2260. Still need 1,000 hours. I've worked on the thumbnails. I would love to know what you think. Cheers from London. Let me check out your channel, because I did evaluate that. Remember, you getting there. You getting there. So I'm going to help you, and we're going to continue to push. Shout out to all of my people across the pond. I appreciate you, Enos Luby, and congratulations. Let me give a shout out to my dog, Mike That Dude in the building. Shout out to Mike That Dude on Cash App. Also want to acknowledge Daryl Pullins. Shout out to Daryl Pullins for the 10 ball and the 20 ball. I appreciate y'all. And then shout out to Mr. DJ. I appreciate y'all on Cash App. I'll continue to read the super chats throughout the day, but y'all ready to get started with this bag? We got a great show. We're going to truly deep dive into the corruption behind property ownership, rentals, public corruption when it comes to these different offices. Layoffs is coming, and they already starting to happen. I told y'all, I warned y'all, when UPS got that big deal. Byron Allen is making a pitch to go and buy Paramount for $14 billion, which made a pop in the stock. It's a lot to go over today, so make sure you share this with your family and friends. Hit a like on your way out the door or in the door. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. And then also shout out to my people on Facebook. Shout out to my people on YouTube. Shout out to everybody that's running it up. Y'all ready to get into the show? Shout out to Miami-Dade County Clerks of the Courts as AD. Have me out here ordering Cartez cookies. Shout out to Cartez Cookies. We love Cartez Cookies. I don't have any ownership in it. I don't have any stake in it. It's just a really, really, really good product, and it's one of the Bag Chasers. I invested in a business, and so I'm really, really glad to see that they got great products. It's a great product. Now, I don't even eat cookies, but my kids can't wait to get them to the crib, and I'm going to let my kids rate them. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. And if y'all got any businesses, send me products. The address to send me anything is in the description of the video. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Y'all ready to get started with the show? All right, let's get it, y'all. Quick Hits is a segment of the show where we don't necessarily think that we need an entire dedication to it, but we want to keep you guys informed on what's going on out here in these streets. So, first and foremost, Byron Allen, everybody know who Byron Allen is. If you don't know who Byron Allen is, he's a black billionaire. A lot of people got mad at him because he had a white wife, and they say that he not really for the black agenda. But you know how it is, and we don't worry about that. We're just going to continue to make sure that we run it up. Shout out to Jacquel. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. But Byron Allen is making a bid and a pitch to buy Paramount and all of its assets for roughly $14 billion. Check it out. Come on now. Give me my stuff.
How did this offer come about, and how did you find out about it?
Well, this has been a saga playing out for quite a while now. Everything with the Redstone family has got an element of drama. This really began to heat up late last year when we heard that David Ellison was interested in buying out the Redstones' controlling stake in Paramount. Paramount, of course, the storied film studios, CBS, TV networks, Nickelodeon. And Byron Allen has always been interested in assets. He made an offer last year for the BET network that was rejected. And so now he's coming back with an offer for the whole company.
Chris, Paramount, one of the crown jewels. How is Byron Allen's offer different from the others by interested parties?
Well, one of the issues that investor Mario Gabelli raised with us is if somebody just tries to buy out the Redstones family's controlling shares, there's going to be litigation because all the other shareholders aren't getting that higher price. So Byron's offer is for all of the common stock and voting and non-voting Paramount. So it eliminates that issue.
So essentially, Byron Allen, by all reports, is not a billionaire to the point to where he's like a deca-billionaire, which is 10 or more, and having $14 billion on hand. Obviously, it would be something similar to what Elon Musk did, to where he would have to put in some money. They don't know where the financing is coming from. They don't know where the investors is coming from. So for whatever reason, he's able to put that together. But they're saying that Paramount Global stock has skyrocketed more than 10% in early trading. Today, on reports that Byron Allen made a $14.3 billion bid to buy all of Paramount's outstanding shares. According to the report, he offered $28.58 each for the company's voting shares, marking a 50% premium compared to recent trading levels, and $21.53 for non-voting shares, including existing debt and a total value of deal amounts to roughly $30 billion. And it's unclear how he would finance the takeover. National Amusements, which is Paramount's holding company, owns approximately 10% of Paramount's equity capital and value and maintains 77% of the voting shares, valued at around $1 billion. Sherry Redstone currently serves as a non-executive chairwoman of Paramount Global, and he has actively expressed his interest in the company, and he made a $3.5 billion bid for BT and VHF channels this year or last year. They said that we think that Paramount should immediately take this deal, as it represents a 50% premium to yesterday's close price, which is likely an acceptable premium for the majority of Para shares. And that's from different analysts and clients and stuff like that. And they're saying that this cash offer is highly appealing. So if this is a real offer, if this is something that goes through, I think that this is something that they should take. Obviously, especially considering that it's a 50% premium above what the shares are currently trading at. For some people, they're saying that, well, Tyler Perry owns BET. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. BET did not sell itself to Tyler Perry. They did not. They retracted themselves being available for purchase. That was just a rumor. Do not listen to it. You got to do your own research. But Byron Allen, I believe that he owns the Weather Channel. And then he was throwing out a bunch of lawsuits in order to bully people like GM in order to advertise on his different platforms and stuff like that. So I'll keep you guys in the loop of what's going on with Byron Allen. But in addition to that, Super Bowl tickets is the most expensive that they've ever been in history.
Yeah, speaking of cha-ching,
Cha-ching, cha-ching, yeah.
tickets to the Super Bowl will be the most expensive in history. Are you ready for it?
You better believe
See
it.
why I said that?
I do.
So the average ticket for the big game is nearly $10,000. The cheapest, just over $8,000. Okay, now just yesterday, by the way, it was the most expensive was $8,000. So that's nearly $2,000 more than the average ticket last year. Part of the reason for this year's cost is Vegas, baby. The previous record year for priciest Super Bowl seats was also 2020, which coincidentally also featured the Chiefs and the Niners.
And some of the hotels right near Allegiant Stadium are already sold out for Super Bowl weekend. If you can't find a room, you're going to have to pay, like a lot.
A lot.
The Staybridge Suites near the stadium currently has vacancies listed at more than $1,200 per night for Super Bowl weekend.
Wow.
Some rooms are available on the Strip, including at Aria for $1,300 a night and at Fontainebleau for more than $1,400 per night.
Listen, you could have locked in that rate a long time ago, or whatever the rate was that you were supposed to be paying a long time ago. But they raised rates based off of demand. It's going to be a very big Super Bowl because Vegas is going to make a lot of money simply because it's Vegas and everybody traveling there. You'll see some city girls that show up and they're going to be staying at the Mosey Wozy Suites and stuff like that. So Super Bowl tickets and prices are incredibly high. And then last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, men are being arrested, or people are being arrested for selling fake IDs to migrants over in Chicago. Take a look.
Well, 3 foreign nationals from Mexico are charged with selling fraudulent IDs to migrants in a retail theft scheme here in Chicago.
Many of the cases, they're going in there and stealing $20, $40, $60. They're trying to reach a level so that they can go and trade or purchase these things. We hadn't seen that before, where it's literally you're being directed. Here's how you can get your ID. You go and steal these things, you get an ID. And that's what we're hearing. And we're hearing it from, as I say, numerous people we take in custody, all separately interviewed.
And Cook County Sheriff's officers carried out a search warrant at 27th and Hamlin last Wednesday. They recovered nearly 500 Social Security and green cards and driver's licenses. They also seized more than $7,200 in cash and around 40 grams of suspected methamphetamine. The undercover operation stemmed from an investigation into multiple cases of theft in the downtown area. The 3 suspects are on electronic monitoring right now. Additional charges may be coming.
So essentially, wherever there's illegal activity coming into the country, there's going to be illegal activity going on around these people. Mexican nationals are selling fake IDs, Social Security cards. They directing them on what to steal, and they probably getting it at a severe discount so that they can then go and resell the stuff, and then they making a bunch of money, and then they also peddling drugs, and it's just becoming a racket. It's absolutely out of control, and Chicago has no ability to even be able to police its own people that they got there in order to solve for the problems and the issues that got to do with Lyft drivers and stuff. So how can they then police these people, and how can they then make adjustments to make sure that this stuff don't happen and that underground crime is continuing to perpetuate itself amongst the residents of Chicago that's already paying for these people to be here, and they shouldn't in the first place. So, it's just bad all the way across the board. I think that it's going to get worse before it gets better. I'm going to continue to keep my eye on this stuff and make sure that you guys are informed on what's going on out here in these streets. And that is your Quick Hits, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get to the thick of it. Let me read a couple of super chats and then we're going to get it popping. Let's go. Bag Chasers, come out and play. A lot of y'all not familiar with The Warriors. That's a really great movie. Shout out to my dog Jacquel, and then shout out to Miss Crow T. Shetty. Just threw me that super sticker. I appreciate you, Miss Crow T. Shetty. Thank you for holding me down, and I appreciate y'all. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the thick of the show. We're not going to waste no time. We got a lot to address, a lot to cover, and it's going to be a phenomenal show like it always is. It's been a great month. We almost done with the entire month, the entire first month of this year. And I hope that you guys made it a productive month. I didn't miss at all. I didn't miss. But we got a great show that's lined up for y'all today. Let me also get Tony Thompson up here. Tony says, Anton, I appreciate your content. To stand in solidarity with Abbott and our borders to be closed, I am wearing my cowboy hat to show support. Would you consider putting one on in support as well? I don't got a cowboy hat, though. I don't have a cowboy hat. Let me see if I can go find a cowboy hat. I think Rita got a bunch of cowboy hats. Let me see what she got. All right, we got our cowboy hat on. We got our cowboy hat on. Rita got 1,000 of these things. She literally got like 50 of these hats. So shout out to Tony Thompson. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep this on, but I'm standing in solidarity of my people down there in Texas. So shout out to y'all. This was actually a custom hat that was made by a girl, but I'll get into that later. So shout out to Tony Thompson. Also, Mo Better says, "Hey D, or is it Big AD?" Don't call me Big AD. You know, you start calling me Big AD, I start feeling it some type of way. I start thinking that this is after hours instead of the Millionaire Morning Show. You know what I'm saying? Just sending support, love the content, and keep doing what you're doing. Shout out to my girl Mo Better. I love Mo Better. I love the Betters. I love the Betters. You know what I'm saying? All right, so listen, we got to continue on with the show. I want to make sure that we continue to run it up. We got to get to it. This is a fedora, not a cowboy hat. Well, you know, I'm from Detroit, so it's a little different from over here. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's continue. It's almost like a cowboy hat. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue. Let me make sure that I get it popping. Shout out to all of my people down there in Texas. Tilt it to the side a little bit like that. All right. Now we doing it. We Detroit Cowboys up here. We do it a little bit different. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the show, ladies and gentlemen. We got to address some problems and some troubles that's happening out here in these streets, man. So major companies are laying off, and I got a lot to say about this, but make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get to it, y'all.
UPS announced Tuesday it will lay off 12,000 employees. That's about 2% of its workforce, according to figures from the Wall Street Journal. The Journal reports most of the layoffs will affect individuals in contract and management roles. UPS joins several high-profile companies that have recently announced layoffs, among them Xerox, Wayfair, and Amazon. Amazon and UPS are also among companies mandating office employees to return to in-person work. To understand these events in the context of the labor market, we've asked Guy Berger to join us. He's the Director of Economic Research at Burning Glass Institute, which focuses on policy and research related to American workers. So, Guy, how should we think about these layoffs at these big companies, names people know? Seems like big numbers, but the unemployment rate is 3.7%, which is low. How should we think about these?
Well, John, I think the main thing to remember to start with is the U.S. economy is really big. The flows are enormous. 2023 was the year with the third lowest layoffs on record, and we still had 1.5 million layoffs a month, almost 20 million for the whole year. So within that context, these numbers alone are high profile, but they're small. And I think the question, which we haven't seen it materialize, is whether these sort of drip of high profile layoffs start adding up to a bigger wave of layoffs, but we don't see it yet.
Now, they'll tell you, okay, well, we got 9 million job openings, right? And let's also take into consideration that major contract that UPS negotiated for its drivers that continue to escalate year over year. So it doesn't all go into effect at one time, but it escalates over a period of time that brings them up to a certain amount. But where did you think that they was going to get the money from? If you actually do some research to understand these delivery companies such as FedEx and UPS, you'll realize that their margins aren't that great. But then they were against the wall because the solidarity that it came along with the union representation. They wind up giving in before strike because they didn't want to have to disrupt whatever it is that's happening from a logistics perspective. And then they had to start cutting costs right after the Christmas season because that's when companies start to realize, okay, things are slowing down. We need to make sure that we do the things that's in the best interest of the shareholders. We need to pass some of these costs over to the consumers, and then we're going to lay people off. And then they'll say, well, listen, the layoff rate is only 1%. That's huge. That is massive. Now, it may not be massive when you look at it from a numbers and overall perspective. And then they'll also tell you, well, unemployment is at historic lows at 3.7%. Well, guess what? Two things. Inflation is up, so your dollar doesn't go as far. And then on top of it, when we talk about job openings being 9 million, what job openings are there? Because there's a lot of people that's underemployed. There's also a lot of people that can't make what they were making before. And then on top of that, when you talk about job openings, are these jobs that you actually qualify for? You know, I was looking on Instagram and I was scrolling up through the reels yesterday, and it was a woman that was sitting there talking about she got a degree and she's getting so desperate. Literally, and I'll share it with you. She said, yo, I'm getting so desperate. Oh my God, I'm getting desperate. And I've never actually had to physically go out here and wear the degree. Oh, I don't have it on this phone. I don't got Instagram on this phone. I've never had to go out here and job hunt in person and actually carry physical resumes and stuff. Having multiple streams of income don't look so bad no more, do it? Not being interdependent on one job, hoping that you don't get laid off, don't seem so bad no more, do it? Lowering your lifestyle in order to make sure that you're not affected if something that was to ever happen don't look so bad, now it do it. Having somebody that you in a household with that you married to that can help you carry this burden when you get laid off don't seem so bad, do it? See, a lot of people also like to talk about what the problems are when it comes to marriage, right? But when you marry successfully, you also marry into a situation to where you don't always have to be only dependent on yourself because two people can pull 10 times their weight. It allows for you to be able to bridge the gap. It allows for you to also bounce ideas off of each other to ensure that you're making the best decision possible and not only be making a decision based off of what you think makes the most sense, but also using your community, which can be the person that you lay next to you, that can also support you in that time of need. So that's what it means to be successfully married also. There's so many factors that go into mitigating the results of what could happen when you get laid off. And I'm telling you, there's always going to be ebbs and flows. There's always going to be good times, bad times. You're going to be up, up, up. But it's lessons that's even in the Bible that when they were up, 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 God was preparing them for famine. He was preparing them so if anything was to ever happen, they would be the ones that's walking around with the bags. If anything is to ever happen, you should be protecting yourself and you should not be ever interdependent on a job in order to survive at all. Ever. Ever. When you up, that is not the time to stunt. When you start getting money, that is not the time to stunt. That is the time that you start to put yourself in a position to where you don't have to ever worry about getting laid off, or you can stunt for the rest of your life. This is why I tell y'all to stay down for 10 years. I don't tell y'all to stay down for 10 years in order to get the job or to get the position that you want. I tell you to stay down for 10 years so that when you get the job and you get the position that you want and you get the money, that's when you start making all of your investments so you can do what you want to do for the rest of your life. That's when you want to invest in yourself, invest in your portfolio, invest in your real estate, invest in your stocks, invest in everything that then continues to build up your net worth. We don't care over here at the Millionaire Morning Show about money. We care about our net worth. As long as we're liquid, we're good. As long as we're liquid, we're good. We don't care anything about that. We want to make sure that we're making as much money as possible so that we can fund the things that we really want to do for the rest of our life. And the decisions that you make today is largely going to influence or impact what it is that you're doing for the rest of your life.
And when the Federal Reserve started raising interest rates to slow economic activity, was the expectation that by now, a good while after that rate rising period began, that expectation would be where it is, or is it lower than people expected? Because there was some expectation it would go up as the economy cooled, right?
Yeah, I think we've been amazingly lucky that inflation's come down. It's basically in recent months where the Fed wants it in the long run. And at the same time, the impact on the unemployment rate has been very small to nearly negligible. Now, the risk is that we're sort of near a tipping point, and we haven't seen it yet, but in early this year, maybe it starts creeping up. But I'm really crossing my fingers that we get lucky, and instead of it being just a small positive impact on unemployment, we don't see any at all. Let's cross our fingers. That'd be amazing.
Now, inflation didn't come down. This is what I like to call a white lie. Let me get my notes out because I'm going to have to take notes as I watch this stuff. Inflation did not come down. That is what's called a white lie, ladies and gentlemen. What happened was inflation is not accelerating at the rate that it was before, meaning that the cost of or the value of your dollar did not continue to start being depreciated, right? The value of the dollar is still going down. It's just not going down as fast as it was before, right? So let's say, for example, inflation was at 9%, which it was at one point. And then it goes all the way down to what it is the government thinks is reasonable as far as inflation. And it goes down to 2.5%, 3%, 4%, right? The long-term version of what we want inflation to look like. It never retracted from where it was as far as your dollar getting more value. It's still becoming more devalued over a period of time. It's just comparative to the same time last year. It's not accelerating at the rate that it was before. So you still can't afford whatever it is that you wanted to afford. You still can't do whatever it is that you want to do. You still going to be under duress. You just out here looking like a fool. And so when they say this, you got to be able to read the context. You got to be able to read between the lines, because inflation is not down. Inflation will be forever. Your ability to be able to pay and you continuing to beat the rate of inflation when it comes to your investments, we can start having that conversation, but inflation is not down at all.
Let me ask you about these policies of having people come back to in-person work is kind of a point of friction that I think tells us something about the labor market. You tell me, because when employees are hard to find, employers say, sure, work from home, do what you need, I want to keep you. But when jobs are hard to find, employees say, okay, I'll show up all day long because I may not be able to get another job or go somewhere else. Do you see these companies that are saying you got to come in and work full time as illustrative of anything in particular that's happening in the labor market?
I think you're absolutely right. I think that if you think about it, this working from home, remote, hybrid work was this benefit that's highly desired by employees that became prevalent during the pandemic and stuck around afterwards. Employers seem and bosses seem more reluctant to hand it out, but it's part of this bargaining that's going on between workers and employers. And as the labor market's cooled somewhat, with hiring coming down, employers are becoming less generous offering that. And so employees are finding that it's harder for them to keep hold of that benefit. And employers, do have leverage to bring people back.
So as we look ahead through this year, what trends are you looking at? What in terms of the employment market, the labor market, what are you looking for to tell us how it might be faring?
Well, on the optimistic side, we've seen hiring come down a lot. It's been fortunate we've seen it through the lens of hiring coming down, not layoffs picking up. But this is not a great time to be looking for a job. And hopefully we see that stop. That to me will be a very good sign that, in some sense, employers have right-sized their workforces and we can start being really optimistic about the labor market and not just, kind of holding on to our seats. And then on the flip side, I think if we start seeing that the layoffs are so far just mostly headlines and relatively small numbers, start moving the meter on aggregate layoffs, that will make me a little more worried that, policymakers are falling behind the curve in terms of loosening the pressure they're putting on the labor market.
Do you see?
Listen, everything is cyclical. Everything is cyclical. It's a lot of people that's watching this right now, right? And if you are one of the people that unfortunately lose your position or lose your job or whatever, right? You have to understand this, that it's not going to be forever. And we got to learn the lessons of yesteryear in order to understand how we're supposed to move tomorrow. And you don't always have to go through it in order to make sure that you're doing the thing that you're supposed to do, okay? What I want y'all to start doing is making more informed decisions and making sure that you're not crashing out, right? One of the things that I want you to do is understand that hiring will always come back. It is never going to be a possibility for you to not lose your job again. But how do you put yourself in a position where you never, ever have to worry about, or you're not making decisions under duress? Because when you make decisions under duress, right, when you make decisions under duress, what happens a lot of times is you wind up making some of the worst decisions of your life. And the reason that is the same reason why they got payday loan places and places that may be underserved or underprivileged, is because you'd be willing to take on a huge percentage of debt, or you'd be willing to mortgage your future paycheck in order to meet a certain expectation because you're desperate. And what people do when people get desperate, they start devaluing whatever it is that their skill set is. There's people, right, that do a phenomenal job in carpentry or construction, but if you get them in the wintertime or you get them at the right time, boy, because they did not plan in order to be successful. They did not leverage whatever they did in the summertime in order to make sure that it carried them through the winter. They can't hibernate the way that they want to hibernate. And so now a lot of these other people are now in a position where they got to go back into the office. You know why? Because the employers know that they have leverage over the employees because now you desperate for a job. And the market is only going to be able to substantiate whatever it is that is available. So if there's an overabundance of a bunch of different people, then that's what dictates what the market can hold or what it bears, right? I'll give you an example. If there's a whole lot of fast food workers that's available, then that then drives down the price of what we have to pay fast food workers in order for them to be able to come in and work for us. Conversely, if you have a whole lot of people that in tech, for example, for a specific position, that they can't fill these positions, guess what they're going to do? Because they value that position, they're willing to overpay for somebody to come in above whatever the market rate is, especially if you're good at what you do, in order to have somebody to be able to do that job effectively and keep and hold on to them for a longer period of time. It's the reason why I believe that, or one of the reasons why I believe that the migrant crisis is happening the way that it's happening. Because if you can get a whole lot more workers in, especially when we're having a situation where it's a lot of Americans that don't want to do the regular jobs because everybody is too good and we all on Instagram now, then you can get a whole bunch of people in here to fill these positions. Guess what? It drives the cost of labor down. And you don't have to worry about the same things that other people have to worry about as an employer, because the first thing that comes to my mind when I'm starting a new business is, well, how many employees do we have to have? And then how do we have to compete against other people that want these same employees? That's what drives up the cost. That's what real capitalism is. Capitalism is not this manufactured thing that the government then sets into place and say, well, minimum wage is supposed to be this amount in California. It's got to be $25 an hour. That's not what true capital, it's not what market conditions and capitalism really is. Capitalism is the market dictates where the jobs go. So wherever it is that we have to fill these positions, that's where we then get the training. That's where it is that we then fill this void. And then the market dictates it based off of what consumer habits are, right? It's the same thing that we're talking about when it comes to EVs. It's the same thing that we're talking about when it comes to cars. Same thing when it comes to restaurants. Same thing when it comes to Airbnb. We just did an article on Quick Hits where we were saying that Super Bowl ticket prices is up. Why are Super Bowl ticket prices up? Because it's the demand. The demand then determines how high the ticket prices is going to go, because if people really want to get there, then they'll sell their left nut in order to get into Vegas so that they can lose all of their money. The government's role is supposed to be to provide the incentives for the companies to then create the jobs, right? For them to give the opportunities, to get people a leg up. But it's not supposed to determine and dictate what happens within that industry, because then that's not really a free market. That's not really being determined by what it is that you can do. It's the same thing with dating. Let me break it down from a C student's perspective for you. When you think about the dating market, right, and you say, well, the sexual marketplace value of a person is determined by whoever it is that's desiring them, right? And so if women's marketplace value is based off of the things that men desire the most, and let's say, for example, that desirability is based off of peace, femininity, your weight, young, ability to bear children, all of that, right? Then that means that you have a window of opportunity at a certain time in your life where you're the most desirable. And that may be in your mid to late or early 20s or something like that. But then conversely, if you take men and you say, well, men's sexual marketplace value is based off of their ability to provide and protect, because that's the thing that's at the top of the list of what women want, then that means that his value goes up as his net worth goes up. And then if you also compare that to how much money men make at later points in their life, that means that men get more valuable as they get older, because you're not even at your peak earnings until you're in your late 50s, early 60s, based off of what the market conditions are. Meaning that the women are willing to go more more fervently over to the guy that can provide and protect the best, right? And so it's the same thing when it comes to the market. It's the same thing when it comes to jobs. Everything is going to be cyclical. There's going to be times that's bad. It's going to be times that's good, but you'll be able to find another position. But you got to learn a lesson from yesteryear in order to really compete against the person that you want the job from. And we are in competition. Make no mistake about it. We are in competition. That means that the same man that you want, she want him too. And you keep saying you want 1%, well, then that means you got to be the thing that 1% man wants in order for you to be able to compete against the person that want that same guy. Same thing when it comes to the labor market, right? If he wants that job and you want that job and they got to go through and they're not having to be required to pick you based off of diversity, equity, and inclusion, then that means that you're going to have to outcompete that person and make yourself more marketable to whoever the employer is in order for you to get your bag so you can make your investments and do the things that you want to do in order to be successful long term. That's the rules of the game. Let's continue, yo. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to continue over with the show because we got some things that we want to address. Shout out to Mo Betta. Says, did you hear about the group of migrants that attacked a couple of NYPD officers recently? I did. We're going to cover that tomorrow. Shout out to Mo Betta. I appreciate you, baby girl. Thank you for informing me and reminding me. Food, fashion, women, and sports. I like that name. Says, Chipotle going up like hotcakes, $24.33 a share. $24.33 a share. Is that what you're saying? It's gone up like $200 USD in the last month. My dream stock thoughts. I don't really care about restaurant stocks. I'd rather, and again, y'all looking at the short term. I'm looking at it long term. If I'm going to invest in a restaurant stock, then I'll probably pick McDonald's, something that's a little bit more stable, something that I know is going to give me a return, something that has great management. I'm not looking at the stock itself. I'm also looking at all of the other factors that go into it. And we talked about this in Stock Club last night when we talked about the hospitality industry. We talked about restaurants, airlines. We talked about Airbnb. We talked about hotels. We talked about cruise lines. We talked about all of that. And so we started to break that down as far as what you need to be investing in long term. Because remember, you want to invest with a 10-year window, 10 to 15-year window. You don't want to be the get in and get out guy. I know it's a lot of people that do that. That's gambling. If you're not making informed decisions, that's gambling. All right, shout out to you. I appreciate it. Also, the Alexander says, good morning, Bag Chasers. While I never miss a show, I believe that this show is for me. My name is Byron. I'm a driver at UPS running it up. Shout out to the Chasers. I appreciate you, Alexander, and welcome to the club. Steve On, WS says, I knew you was going to cover this topic today. Just saw the news, UPS laying people off. Shout out from Japan. Shout out to my Japanese peoples. Alexander says, also Time Dog. I would like to shout out my YouTube, Bricked Out Media, documenting the journey at UPS and more. Bricked Out Media. Make sure y'all go and check out Bricked Out Media. Let me know what y'all think about the channel. I'm going to go and check it out, and we might highlight it tomorrow and see what's happening from a small content creator's perspective. Shout out to y'all. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get into this corruption, man. I don't like it. I've been following this case. Y'all, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing out here in these streets. Fani is dirty. That's my perspective. Fani is dirty. You want to know how dirty they are? You want to know how finessed y'all getting? Let me share with y'all quickly, and then I'm going to break it down from a little bit more, a different perspective. I'm going to show y'all just how dirty they are.
Georgia prosecutor Nathan Wade will not testify today about allegations of an improper relationship with Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis. This is a last-minute change. Wade was scheduled to testify in his divorce case today in Cobb County, but Tuesday entered a temporary divorce agreement, so it cancels the need for the hearing today. He may have been forced to answer questions about an alleged improper relationship with Fulton County DA Fani Willis. Willis appointed Wade to the special prosecutor position in November of 2021 as the investigation into the 2020 election interference case ramped up. Former President Donald Trump and two of his co-defendants are looking to disqualify Willis. They claim the alleged relationship creates a conflict of interest. DA Willis has until the end of the week to respond to the.
So let's stop right here, y'all. Let's stop right here. We really want to go into this. do you have to be found guilty in order to be held accountable for not doing the right thing? Let me break this down again and let y'all know what happened. So for those of you that have not been following this, or you just now came in and you trying to understand what's going on with Fani Willis, Fani is the Fulton County DA, right? The district attorney. She is responsible for prosecuting people that break the law down in Georgia or wherever it is that they file charges at in Georgia, right? And Fulton County specifically. Responsible for all of the charges that's being brought up against Trump in order to try to take him down and prevent him from becoming the president of the United States again. Also, in addition to that, is also responsible for prosecuting a lot of these rappers down here in Georgia, in Atlanta specifically, right? And it's recently been revealed that she may or may have allegedly had an inappropriate relationship. Now, Fani is the 53-year-old woman that's sitting there right there that's in charge of what's happening within this office. They have a budget of roughly $3 million a year to allocate towards salary and whatever it is that they need as far as distributing funds in order to get everything done and taken care of in Fulton County DA's office. Nathan Wade, the black man that's sitting on the right-hand side of your screen, he is the individual that's being accused of being a recipient of Fani Willis's patronage, right? She got her own Patreon. Shout out to Fani Willis with the Patreon. I'm going to read the super chat shortly. Well, how? Because she got up in the church and she said, listen, there's nothing inappropriate happening here. I can't believe that they persecuting me. It's only because I'm a black woman. I'm paying everybody the same exact rate. Well, it was a white lie because it's not based off of the rate. It's based off of the billable hours. Now, when they went through and they started to figure out, okay, well, where's these billable hours are and how much is this amounting to? Nathan Wade, by far, was way above everybody else and taking home more than six figures. Now, the other two that they identified, I believe it was $70-something thousand, $90-something thousand. Well, Nathan Wade's office took home $653,000. They also pulled up his credit card records. How would they even find out that this is something that they needed to investigate in the first place? Well, one of Trump's co-defendants or somebody else that's being prosecuted as a result of being tied to Trump brought up and figured out that Nathan Wade is going through a divorce. Mr. Wade is going through a divorce. And so when they started to do a forensic accounting of how he's been spending his money and they went through his credit cards, oh, snaps. Not only was you getting paid an egregious amount of money, but you were also going on vacations while you were still married to the woman that is getting divorced from you. And you were going on these vacations that was paid for by you for her and for Fani Willis and him. And they went to the Caribbean and they went over to California. And then Fani started to fight back. She said, listen, this woman, his wife, the nerve of her, this woman, his wife, is interfering with what it is that I got going on as far as prosecuting these people. And it doesn't matter whether I'm doing it ethically or not. I don't have to answer any questions. I can do what I want to do. And that's his divorce, right? And it was sealed. And so the judge came back and the judge said, you know what? We're going to unseal this divorce. And that created a real problem. And the reason that it created a real problem is because then it was starting to force him, Mr. Nathan Wade, he was giving up that BBC. Yeah. It was forcing him to have to testify in his own divorce hearing under oath and have to tell the truth on what was really happening and whether or not he was really having an affair and spending money, because that was going to be one of the determining factors for whatever it is that he had to pay out to his ex-wife. Yeah. See, his ex-wife had that redhead, that white redhead. And when you got that white lady and she got a redhead, she a bulldog in the court. She a bulldog in the court. Let me continue to bring y'all up to speed of what's going on.
This warning, a settlement in a divorce case that many people across the country are watching closely. It involves Nathan Wade, the special prosecutor, and Fulton County's case against former President Donald Trump. Atlanta News First Rebecca Schramm is live in downtown Atlanta. Rebecca, Wade and his estranged wife were supposed to have a court hearing today, but that's not happening.
That's right, Brooks. At that hearing in Cobb County, the district attorney here in Fulton County, who is the alleged mistress in this case, was supposed to be at the center of the hearing, but that hearing is not happening now. The judge canceled it because there has apparently been a temporary settlement in that divorce case. So let's catch you up on everything. A couple of years ago, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis hired Nathan Wade as the special prosecutor in the Trump case, and so far her office has paid him more than $650,000 for it. Wade's wife claims he used some of that to take Willis on lavish vacations.
Let's stop there. The ex-wife provided and forced him to come forth with his Capital One credit card. You know, the one where Samuel L. Jackson be always on a commercial talking about Sparks and stuff like that. Yeah, ex-wife came through with that Capital One credit card, and she was like, listen, not only was he getting to the bag, but he was using some of that bag on his mistress. Yeah, using some of that bag on his mistress. Alleged pay for play? We'll never find out. Why? Because these same people that were claiming racism and then being accused of racism that is now undergoing a special investigation based off of what the Republicans over in Georgia is now exercising in order to make sure that there is no improper payments going forward. Not that they can do anything about what happened in the past, but improper payments going forward is the same people that use this system in order to get out of testifying so we could really understand what was going on. Now, why would we care about what's going on in Nathan Wade's marriage? We don't. I can care less unless it comes on the behalf of the taxpayers. Because when we have to pay for their inappropriate behavior, allegedly, that becomes a problem. So now guess what Nathan Wade had to do? Guess what he had to do?
That alleged relationship is the basis for a claim by Trump and two co-defendants who want Willis and Wade dismissed from the case. In the meantime, the Georgia Senate has approved a special committee to look into the allegations of misconduct. State Senator Bo Hatchett is on that committee.
It's something that we are going to take seriously. We're going to make sure that public funds were used appropriately, and we're going to look into this as much as we need to.
Now, the judge in the Fulton County Trump case has given DA Willis until Friday to respond to the relationship allegations, and he has set a hearing for that on February 15th.
So this is basically what happened from a C student's perspective. She didn't have to testify, but he did because it's his divorce hearing. But instead of him having to go under oath and say what really happened and get grilled by that red-headed white woman, he said, I'm going to go ahead and settle. The day before this man is set to... Now, come on, listen. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Where there's smoke, there's fire. It don't take Waldo for us to find Waldo to be able to find out what the problem is that's happening out here in these streets. The day before this man is set to testify under oath, which could basically open up a whole new can of worms, including if he lies, to then be held accountable for him lying. The day that he's set to testify under oath about what is going on with this alleged inappropriate relationship, all of a sudden he settles and says she can have everything. Now, what do you think he had to give up in order to do that? What do you think that he had to give up in order to do that? I mean, I could only imagine that the ex-wife got everything. Let me give a round of applause to the ex-wife. Very rarely do I celebrate family court getting it right, but they had to leverage family court in order to do this. Now, the only problem with this is that us and Trump and his co-defendants will never, ever really get justice. Maybe, we don't know. We're going to see how this plays out because the fact that he settled prevent him from having to testify, and then he had to throw her under the bus if he had to testify under oath and tell the truth. So let me ask y'all another question. How much influence do you think that she had in his ability to be able to settle? How much pressure do you think that Fani Willis put on Nathan Wade in order to say, listen, you need to fix this? Don't worry, we're not going to cuss. It's the Millionaire Morning Show. Shout out to all of my daycare. Shout out to everybody that's out in these streets. How much pressure do you think that this 53-year-old woman that was allegedly busting it down for a real one, how much did it cost you? How much of your soul did you give up? How much? Miss, I told you last week that you dirty. You a dirty mother. Boop, 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 boop. Shut your mouth. Dirty, 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 dirty. How much of this do you think? Because everybody got a vested interest in seeing this happen. I mean, Connie, I got to agree with you in the chat. Chat lives matter. I got to agree with you in the chat, Connie. Because this not only reeks of corruption at the lowest levels of what you're doing inside of your bedroom that's influencing how much you're using from the taxpayers' dollars in order to be able to live the life that you want to live. It also reeks of a corruption going all the way up to the top, because then you have to ask yourself, well, is it a possibility that there's people in high places that don't want to see this lawsuit get dismissed, or these allegations that's being levied against the former president of the United States get dismissed? Is there a possibility that they don't want to see this thing go away, and so they also have a vested interest in seeing him make this divorce case go away? This one little problem could basically bust open a whole bevy of other issues, and that they already had a thing that they wanted to do, but you just had to bust it down for a real one. Now, I'm thankful, because I believe that everything that's done in the dark needs to be coming to the light. But at the same time, let's ask ourselves, listen, let's not just look at it only from the perspective of, well, he cheated, she cheated, taxpayer dollars, get her out of office. Let's ask the real questions, ladies and gentlemen. And when I say let's ask the real questions, I'm saying let's ask the questions that's really meaningful to us. I'm not saying that you got to vote for Trump. I'm not saying that you shouldn't vote for Biden. I'm saying that it should be left up to the American people as to whether or not we choose who we want to basically represent us in the free world as far as the president of the United States of America. It should not be based off of this corrupt system and all of these people that got a vested interest in seeing this thing go away. It should be based off of what we decide as voters. And this is why I think that in a lot of instances, people get turned off from the election process, because it's so finessed and it's so rigged. It's so rigged. Now, obviously, we don't have any kind of evidence to verify this, because don't nobody got to testify no more. And the only thing we had to go off of was the credit card statement and whether or not they was busting it down for a real one, because he was foolish enough to go and buy out or go and buy both of their flight tickets out with his credit card that then tied it back to her. But then we see this lawsuit and we see these cases that's going up that's being frivolous. And then you just got to ask yourself the question, well, how many different people are involved and who don't want to get their hands dirty? Because the more that we know and the more that we learn, the more we realize how corrupt this system really, really is. It's sad. It's absolutely sad. But the one thing that we know for sure, and two things is for certain, as this chick right here is dirty. Dirty. Dirtier than, because when you start playing with other people's money and you start trying to determine and play games, now even the stuff that you were doing good, we can't trust you. We can't trust you. We don't know what your agenda is. Now, I think that this calls for you to have to go back and evaluate every single case that this chick then ever tried, because we don't know whether or not you the person that's supposed to be in that position in the first place. You dirty. We don't trust you. We don't trust you. Now you got to go back and evaluate everything that this person did in a 53 years on this earth, because if you would do that for a real one, then what wouldn't you do? What haven't you done? That's why I don't trust some of these people. That's why I don't trust these people. And then they want to get up on a black church in the pulpit and talk about how they being systematically sated against and it's racism and all of this stuff. No, you dirty. You dirty. You a 53-year-old dirty mama. That's what you are. And then you wonder why the people don't have no faith in the justice system. Dirty as ever. Let me read a couple of these super chats and we're going to get it popping. Sick of these people, bro. I got my Apple Pencil in my notes today because we're going to have a conversation. Seminole is in the building. Seminole says, what up, AD? Shout out to the Chasers. I work at UPS too and spoke to one of the senior guys today about the layoffs. He said the majority is mid-level management and folks that were still working from home. Well, here's the key though. Here's the key. They're not going to get rid of the people that are essential in order to keep their operations open. They're going to try to figure out how they can do more with less. So of course it's going to be the mid-level management people. But this is not the end of the layoffs, because also included in layoffs is that it's called natural attrition. And natural attrition is people go off, they go and get other jobs, they go and do other things, but they don't replace the people that leave with people in order to fill that position because they're then going to do more with less. So even if they say, well, we only doing this many layoffs, how many positions are you not replacing, and how does that factor into what it is that we got going on with the economy? Because it's a lot of people that need jobs, and it's a lot of people that will be qualified to do those jobs, but the cost is ultimately passed on to the consumer, and we got to make sure that we take care of the shareholders. That's usually what happens. So shout out to you for the insight. Kofi is in the building. Kofi says, what up, Anton? There is another black city girl commissioner in Atlanta leveraging her position to sex with her male chief of staff, but when he refused, he got fired and he took her to court. Now the city has to pay $1 million. I'm about to cover that next. Yeah, we covering all corruption. Shout out to my dog, Kofi. Brittany is in the building, says, plot twist, it's a whole other female he was taken out of town, and he was playing old girl for the bag the whole time. Listen, he probably got multiple different chicks that he busting down, Britt. Shout out to you for the super sticker. I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you, my friend, for always holding us down. Let's continue over with the show. So somebody, Kofi specifically, mentioned this, and he said, listen, Anton, it's another lady that's out here busting it down for a real one, big dog. I said, I know. These women are acting like men. These women are moving around and acting like men. These ain't women no more. I talked about this on After Hours. We're going to talk about it on the Anton Daniels channel tonight. These are not women. These are men. What are your pronouns, miss? They are operating in masculinity, and they doing things that traditionally we held men accountable for. We always used to hold men accountable. Listen, let me tell you something. Men was held accountable for things that they couldn't even prove that he did. Remember during the Me Too era, when a whole lot of men was losing their jobs just based off of accusations? You don't see that happening with Fani Willis. You don't see that happening with this situation. The EEOC just had to pay $1 million to this man. We're going to go into it. $1 million to this man. And I don't hear nobody less losing their position or losing their jobs. Listen, during the Me Too era, everybody that even got accused, I did whole shows and recordings and videos about it. People that was just getting accused was getting let go. This shows you that women don't really want to play fair. They don't want to go through the things that men go through. People was just getting an accusation and they was losing their jobs. I know guys that I had worked with that wouldn't even go and do a meeting with a woman unless they had another man that was walking in with them or another woman that was walking in with them. They needed a witness, or they needed some cameras, and they needed some audio to make sure that they wasn't saying nothing appropriate, because dudes was deathly afraid. And when I say deathly afraid, I mean deathly afraid of ever putting themselves in a position and being falsely accused by somebody that they was not touching. For every one person that does it wrong, it's 1,000 other people that suffer as a result of it. Because then somebody gonna see it as a come up, or they're gonna see it as an opportunity. But they've graduated. They've now graduated to the point to where they feel comfortable going and using a power and a position to take it out on the men that they then propositioning in order to have an affair with. Let's get into it.
Now to a Fox 5 exclusive. The former chief of staff for a Fulton County commissioner is speaking out for the first time.
Somebody in the chat, hold on, let me get into this. Somebody in the chat said, Anton, you streaming the same time as Club Shay Shay. Well, my numbers is the same. Let me tell you something. We don't change up. We don't switch up. We don't move our times. We gonna do what we do. We gonna grow. We gonna do what we do. The Chasers is here. Shout out to the Bag Chasers, the Patreon members. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. But we don't care who's streaming when. We don't care when your premieres are. We don't care about none of that. We gonna continue to do exactly what we do every single day. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. You ready to get this money, or you ready to be entertained by somebody that's water waving on your screen? You ready to get this money, or you want to be entertained by somebody that's water waving on your screen? You tell me. You let me know where your priorities are. You want to see what's going on in your community? You want to have a conversation about what's going on with politics? You want to have a conversation about where growth is? Or you want to go be entertained and continue to tell us what's going on in the chat and gossiping about what's happening in these streets? Don't be conflicted. Make a decision, because we still going to be in here cooking up and doing what we do. We got money to get. We need to understand what's going on in our communities. We need to understand what's happening in the news. We need to be safe. We need to be very, very connected with what's going on in all of our local economies. So you go ahead and make a decision. We're going to rock out.
Fox 5 exclusive. The former chief of staff for a Fulton County commissioner is speaking out for the first time about his almost $1 million settlement against Fulton County.
Calvin Brock says Fulton County Commissioner Natalie Hall fired him after he ended a sexual relationship with her. A federal judge ruled in Brock's favor earlier this month. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor talked with the fired employee about the toll the case had on him.
Calvin Brock says finally having this sexual discrimination case behind him feels really good. He says finding the courage to actually file it in the first place was one of the most difficult things he's ever done.
I have a regret from the first time that I was propositioned.
Fired.
Hey, shout out to my man that got the wet set on the top of his head. Let me back up. I see you. I see you. He got that just for me. Just for me. I see you, big dog. Yeah, he said, listen, I'm under duress. I didn't want to have to bust that woman down. I didn't want to be out here having to bust that woman down, but guess what I had to do? I had to do what I had to do in order to get what I needed to get. And I'm feeling under duress. I think that $1 million wasn't enough.
I have a regret from the first time that I was propositioned.
Fired Chief of Staff Calvin Brock says he agreed to a sexual relationship with Fulton County Commissioner Natalie Hall that he knew was wrong because he wanted to keep his six-figure salary.
Wait. All right, so listen, big dog. I'm with you. I believe that this woman is for the streets. I believe that she was propositioning you like a man. But what I also don't believe is that you didn't see it through the first time and then decide that, you know what, I want to move on. I just wanted to bust you down one time. You was just a moment, maybe twice. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? You may have gave that gawk through. I don't know what you was doing in the bedroom, but I believe, and this is just my thoughts. I can't justify this. I believe that you went ahead and went through with it and seen it through. And you may not have even liked what you got. It may have been trash. It may have been absolute positive garbage. 1,000%. I believe that you've seen it through. But I also believe that you didn't want to continue to do it either. See, listen, it's a lot of women that are getting these positions. You're buying homes. You're not used to having power. You see the man that you like, and now you operating like a man because you're in a position of a man. And so you don't understand. See, we never had a stream on the importance of having scissor discipline. Let's just call it that for the Millionaire Morning Show. To have your cho-cha locked up. You don't know what that means, and so you exercising power. You know, the same thing that y'all used to complain to us about and then go back and say, you know what, I can't believe it. He shouldn't be using his power to do that. You wouldn't believe the amount of women that's doing this. Fani Willis is being alleged that she was doing it too. There's a lot of women that are just now seeing what power look like, and they're leveraging their position in order to get the man that they want. They don't care if he married. They don't care if he not. Listen, you want to get this bag, you want to get this money, you want to hold on to your position, you better bring that over here again. You better bring that thing over here again. See, we always telling guys to have eggplant discipline. Never have we ever had to tell a woman to have a completely different type of discipline, because this is new. This is new to y'all. Power is new to you. And so with new power comes greater responsibility. And now the roles have reversed. Now this man is under duress.
That he knew was wrong because he wanted to keep his six-figure salary.
The lows got very low. I had to take out of my 401k to finish rebuilding my house. And then just the emotional standpoint, I did go to a psychiatrist, could not find a job. I honestly felt like I was blackballed in the city.
Once Brock ended the romance, Hall fired him. That's when the 52-year-old filed an equal employment opportunity complaint that led to a jaw-dropping trial that reveals sexual encounters in Hall's office and their homes.
Not you firing me because I don't want to give you the D no more. Not you sprung. Wait a minute. Let me put some eggplant up in it. So you telling me that the minute that, so he was basically locked into a prison-like deal for the rest of his life, as long as he worked up under you, as long as he continued to exist within that municipality, that he was locked into this deal. I wonder how many other people had to suffer through the same fate with some of the same women. I wonder how many other people were being paid with taxpayer dollars and you was making sure that you leveraged their position over them in order to go and get that D. And she had to go and see. This is the thing that Nathan Wade didn't want to do. This is the thing that Fani Willis didn't want to do because the stakes was higher. The stakes was higher. So she on trial, and she basically saying that it was in her home, and his home, in the car, in the parking lot, at the offices, late night hours, and she was busting it down for a real one. These older, nerdy women that never got no play is out here busting it down for a real one.
Brock and his attorneys said having the traditional roles reversed was going to be tough, but they believe they would prevail because of the overwhelming evidence, including tracking devices Hall placed in Brock's car.
The evidence was damning, it was salacious, and it was...
Wait. What kind of D is being levied against these people to where women is now putting tracking devices on a dude's car? All right. I believe him 100% now. I don't believe that he told one lie. Let me get a round of applause for the dudes that's laying it down so hard that you're putting a tracking device on the car. You telling me that you loved it so much Black Cobra, I see you, big dog. Listen, no, I'm gonna keep it PG. I'm keeping it PG. I'm keeping it Disney characters. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna curse. I'm not gonna do none of that. You telling me that you was busting it down for a real one so bad that you putting tracking devices on Big Homie's car? Sheesh. Let me stay home. You know, I've been working from home for a lot. Let me stay home. They putting tracking devices on your car. They trying to find out where you at. She said you gonna share your location no matter what happens. Rainbow Kid, we gonna answer that question shortly. Let's see what happens to her.
The evidence was damning, it was salacious, and it was non-flattering. We felt that the county certainly did not want this to go forward and let the public see what was going on.
Attorney Mitchell says he tried to settle with the county several times before the trial. In the end, a federal judge awarded Brock back pay with interest, compensatory damages, and attorney's fees. He says he finally feels whole.
There was so much manipulation and abuse of power amongst other employees that were in that office that I tried to protect over the years, that I felt like if I did not do this, I felt like others would be actually targeted.
That translation, it's other guys in there that she was like, you know what, I could replace you with another one, and you're going to lose your position. That's basically what he just told you. He said that other people was possibly going to be targeted. That means that if you was going to go and work for this Georgia official, then you were going to be targeted. In order for you to keep your job, you was going to have to drop your drawers for a real one.
Mr. Brock says he no longer wants to work in county government and has completely changed career paths to cybersecurity.
That dude said, I'm taking my money and I'm going to invest in an education. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you, though. I don't think that he actually got enough. I think that he got robbed. I think he got robbed. I genuinely think he got robbed. You know why I think he got robbed? Because he only got $1 million. Now, some people will say, well, $1 million is a lot of money. Not really. Anton, why is $1 million not a lot of money in this situation? Because, A, he got to split a lot of it with his lawyer. Lawyer got to get his just due. What you think, that he was getting paid all along? He wasn't. Usually they take a percentage of the winnings. That's why they so incentivized to settle. That's why they say, if we don't win your case and this and that and so on and so forth, you don't have to pay. Well, that's because the way that they structure the deal with a lot of these lawyers is that they get a percentage of whatever it is that you get awarded. So not only does he got to pay out to his lawyers, I'm not sure if you also have to pay out in taxes for what it is that you made. So he only got back pay plus interest, and the lawyer get a piece of that. And it ain't no telling how long he been going through this, the emotional damage, right? And they only had to pay $1 million. I think that they came out clean. And so I think that he absolutely got washed. I think he got robbed. Guys, they just be happy to get it from up under them. They just be happy to put it behind them. Most guys that wind up filing for divorce or wind up being in some kind of divorce proceeding, what they wind up doing is, they just be like, hey, let's just get this over. We don't want to have to pay a whole lot of fees. They just want to put it behind them and move on with their life, but they refuse to settle. Here's the question, and this is the part that we have not gotten answers to. How is this woman's name not released? Because I didn't hear not one time that they actually said her name in this report. That's A. B, I'm also curious as to how she still has her position. How does she still have a position? How is she still walking back and forth in the court? Why aren't women outraged at this? Why don't I see this all across YouTube and social media of women holding other women accountable? Now, when Derek Jackson was out there in Miami shaking it for a real one with his shirt off, taking pictures in Brickell like an idiot, everybody was all over it. When Bill Cosby got taken to the cleaners, when a lot of these dudes was getting fired from their job, people was celebrating, right? When the brick lady, they thought that she got hit in the head with a brick, they was out here celebrating, hold men accountable. I don't hear a peep from one woman, not one, from any of these people that think that it's supposed to be equal. I don't hear one peep from any of these women that is supposed to be holding equally accountable both men and women. Why is that? So you leveraged your position and taxpayer dollars, other people's money, in order to continue to get you some D when you wasn't supposed to in an affair. And then you had to go to court. They proved that it was true. You had to testify as a result of it, and I don't hear a peep. Zip, zilch, nada, nothing, not a word. Not a word, not a hashtag, not a word, not protection, not equality, not nothing. He should have got more than $1 million. I think that they settled for that. It's always quiet in the congregation when it's your turn. I'm amazed at that. Shout out to that man at least getting some level of justice. I don't think that he got the justice that he deserved, but he got some level of justice. Let me read these super chats. AVP Designs LLC says, hey, yo, I'm in ATL. What's Shawty name again? I don't know. I don't think that they said her name. I'm going to be honest with you. Mr. Lot is in the building. Shout out to Mr. Lot. Says, sometimes seeing it through leaves you blinded or with a blackened eye. I agree with you, Mr. Lot. You are absolutely, positively correct. So as we go through corruption, because corruption is rampant through our society, and it seems to be is becoming more of a woman thing than anything, because men had their time and now women is being brought to the front of the congregation, we're going to revisit somebody really quickly, right? Because as more evidence is being introduced, we got to revisit the conversation because it's important for us to hold everybody accountable that's a public figure. Now, If you doing whatever it is that you doing in your own household with your own money, then that's a different conversation. But when you using taxpayer dollars to do it, I think that makes it all of our business. It's all of our business because we all have to pay for the transgressions that you're levying against the people, especially in these underserved communities such as the city of Dalton and Thornton Township. Now, when these people elected you, they elected you based off of optics, right? They wanted to see representation in there that looked like them. But when you got in there, what did you do? You lost the trust of the people, and then you made yourself a target, and you couldn't stop parading, you couldn't stop bragging, you couldn't stop going live on Facebook, and now look at you. We in 2024 still having conversations because y'all got water main bursts, and the people that's out here fixing the water mains in Dalton and Thornton Township is complaining that they don't have the budget anymore. Everything is under duress. The money is not going to the pantries. People have propositions that they were supposed to get funded and it's no longer available. Don't worry about it. We're going to go ahead and bring y'all up to speed of what's happening with Tiffany Thornton because I know y'all thought that I forgot, but I didn't.
WGN investigates a spending spree in the south suburbs by an unapologetic politician.
Last fall, we detailed some of the expenses billed to taxpayers, and tonight, Ben Bradley's back with new bills and new questions.
Micah and Ray, Tiffany Henyard and her team travel in style. First-class airfare, fine dining, and five-star hotels. It's in sharp contrast to the communities they represent, which have a per capita income of $29,000 a year. And 20% of the population lives below the poverty level.
I am in the White House.
Tiffany Henyard has a taste for travel. There she is front and center at the White House at a meeting for mayors this month.
I'm here taking care of the people's business.
Can we get a moment of silence for Tiffany and her short-lived career? Hopefully she saved some of the money that she put up or that she made from her two positions in an underprivileged, underserved community. This woman is sitting there at the White House doing a selfie. Now, if we go back to this picture right here, look at this dummy. I hate to say it. I just hate to say it, but we just got to have a conversation. Listen to this.
Tiffany Henyard has a taste for travel.
Look at everybody else now. Let's get a pause right there. Everybody else, front and center, applauding, there for whatever it is that they're there for. I only really see men in the audience, and then I see Tiff with her iPhone 14 Pro. Hi, I'm in the White House. This is Byron. We here. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. I'm just saying, what a mother effing embarrassment. What are we doing? This is what you think representation is supposed to look like? Representation with compensation? What is Dalton and Thornton Township doing at the White House anyway? You know how many cities there are in the United States of America? What are all of these? What are they there for? What is she there for? They should have Chicago, Denver, Detroit, New York, Dalton.
There she is front and center at the White House at a meeting for mayors this month.
I'm here taking care of the people's business.
It's how she travels that caught our eye.
But I shouldn't have to sit up here and break all this down.
Henyard serves as the mayor of Dalton and supervisor of Thornton Township, two elected positions that earned her more than $287,000 in.
She a bag chaser. She is definitely a bag chaser. She got one position that pay her $224, another position that pay her $62, for a total of $287 and $212 and 13 cents. Whoa, 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 whoa. You gotta be kidding me. See, when you work for a public institution or you work for a city, your salary then becomes transparent. I bet y'all didn't know that. When you work for a public institution or you work for a city, you can pretty much, in most instances, go and look up exactly what everybody else is making. Absolutely.
In 2022. But here's what happens when you ask her about how she spends taxpayer money.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas?
Every time I see that clip, that junk have me on the floor rolling. Oh my God. Every time I see Lil Wayne's big sister say that, or little sister, that junk had me on the floor.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas? What is that?
No comment.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
Political strife is a fact of life in local government here.
You the ones that's costing the village money. I don't have that call. All right. Okay.
What was she supposed to do? You wanted her to expound? Don't drag out the meeting.
I made a motion.
As we've reported, public meetings frequently devolve into chaos. Municipal bills don't get paid. Several employees have sued, claiming retaliation. And some business owners claim Henyard targets her opponents. Tiffany Henyard's spending and self-promotion are big issues here. Her face is everywhere, from government mailings to billboards. Those signs cost taxpayers more than $22,000.
This is the dumbest junk that I've ever seen in my life, bro. Of all of the ways that you can go into public office and use the public's money and use taxpayers' monies, this is how you do it? This is the dumbest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life, bro. It gets funnier every time I see it.
Oh yeah. She's also something of a social media star.
God chose me. You may have hired me, but God chose me.
Somebody know something. Don't nobody know nothing? Leave me alone.
I don't think she's fit to be a mayor. I think she really want to be a reality television star.
Nikita Cloud was Tiffany Henyard's chief of staff in Dalton for less than a year. We spoke with her after WGN Investigates first exposed how Henyard and other officials spent thousands of dollars on trips, meals, and more that they've refused to explain. Now, a new batch of records from Thornton Township shows the spending spree hasn't slowed. Credit card charges show that in just 5 months, township taxpayers footed the bill for more than $23,000 in restaurant meals statewide, including this upscale winery chain and this steakhouse near O'Hare.
Christ. What is wrong with these people? All you gotta do is stop. Just stop. Hey, y'all. Hey. These reporters, Anton Daniels, Pink Butt Lessons, whoever else is out here in these streets, O'Shea Duke Jackson, they own us. They own us. They all over us. I know they be watching this. They probably watching it right now. I guarantee you that people from her camp is watching this right now. I will bet 100 bands on it. I will be willing to bet 100 bands that they watch this. How do I know that they watch this? Because some of my people told me that they watch it. See, I know people that you don't know that I know. Yeah. You got a mole, baby. You got a mole in your camp. They got a mole in their camp, Rita. Tiffany Henyard got a mole in her camp. Yeah, somebody is feeding the information. They don't know that the people is feeding the information out. What's going on? Boots?
I was down the hall. I've been here.
No. What's going on at the site?
They brought the shingles.
Shingles is there.
The dumpster's there.
Dumpster's there.
Windows is being delivered this afternoon.
Windows delivered. Is the people there? Are they working right now?
No, because the truck is so big with the shingles and stuff. It took up the whole
Whole front yard.
Basically.
Yeah. Oh, I have none. I'm looking at. I'm over here cooking. I got Tiffany Henyard. I got to address right now.
I need you to look at this real quick. Amanda said, "Do you want one of these for yourself or me?" Swipe over. She said she just got them in.
She got some new Rolexes in. She got both of them in.
Both of those.
But we got this one already. We got this one.
I don't know.
This has got diamonds in it though. Oh, it's rose gold. This Yachtmaster looks sweet. I don't think I got one of these. We'll talk about it. Tell her I'll pick up one of the Rolexes today. She'll be there. They just got there, didn't they? They just opened. All right, let me get back to Tiffany.
Then there's the travel. Records show township officials spent more than $67,000 on trips to Portland, Austin, Atlanta, and New York City. Many of the flights were first class. So were the accommodations. In Atlanta, they stayed at the Four Seasons, costing taxpayers more than $9,000. In New York, the bill came to $13,000 for a stay in Times Square. Nikita Cloud wasn't on those trips, but has been to many meals with Henyard and her cronies, who she says
this one of them. Another mole is in her crew.
No qualms about using public money for private enjoyment.
Over-the-top meals, lobster, crab legs. She liked the good stuff.
Oh no, not Keita. Keita. What'd she say?
She said, "Which one do you want so she can hold it?"
Give me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. Let me think about it. Keita is out here snitching. Keita. Now, Keita must not have got her pay or she must have got fired. Because if Keita is out here telling all of the business and saying that, hey, they doing it over the top, oh, man, the FBI is right behind her. The FBI is right behind her. Oh, my God. The FBI is on y'all. The people is on. You can't have this many people that's snitching on you that's in your home camp telling about what's going on. You out here firing people and getting rid of people, and Keita is out here telling all of the business. Keita, I know you ain't holding it down for a real one.
And when you were with her at these meals, was government business discussed?
No.
Henyard and her allies have defended the spending, claiming the trips are for conferences or to help recruit new businesses.
Do you know the government purpose of any of that travel?
No, I really don't.
Chris Gonzalez is the last remaining Henyard opponent on the township board.
And what happens when you ask?
Nothing. Really, just no answers. I don't have any comment on that.
Trustee Jerry Jones was on that first-class trip to New York.
Still don't have a comment.
Sir, you're a trustee.
Well, once again, I don't have a comment.
We went to a recent township meeting to get answers.
Dude, Ben Bradley, how you feeling?
That's Keith Freeman. He's Henyard's advisor at the township, village administrator in Dalton, and he's also the registered agent of Tiffany Henyard Cares.
Wasn't he supposed to file the paperwork to make sure that they got all of the documentation of how they spending the money as far as the nonprofit that she owns, and he's supposed to be the top of it? I've never actually seen him on camera. Man, these people is on it.
But there's no foundation in the state of Illinois moving like we moving and shaking, grooving like we doing. Right? That's right.
Henyard's namesake charity claims to support cancer patients and has benefited from public money, but has failed to file required paperwork showing where any of its money goes. The Illinois Attorney General is now threatening.
Keita, what's going on, baby? Keita, call me. Keita, you wanna come up and give me some game? You don't even have to get on camera if you don't want to. Keita, come kick it with your boy. Come talk to your boy. I see you down there, baby. You got to let me know what's going on, Keita. I'm so curious because, listen, they be dodging me. I talked to their people, and first they was like, oh, yeah, we love to come and kick it with you. Then all of a sudden they start disappearing and they want to return my calls. Keita, you got to come and kick it with your boy and let me know what's happening. Let me know if you want me to drop the link in the chat for you, Keita, and then I'll drop it, and then we can have just give me the game, Keita, because I'm just absolutely 100% curious as to what's going on, baby. I'm really for here. Let me drop this for you. For Keita only. Keita, come kick it with your boy. I need to know what's going on, baby. Keita, you had the dip because you said these people is out here being crazy.
Legal action.
How come you don't respond to my emails?
Ah, there you go. There you go. Huh? There you go. That's all you're getting from me. That's all you're getting from me today.
How come the charity hasn't filed its financial disclosures about how money was spent?
How would I know that? That's a good question, though.
A question we had hoped to pose to Tiffany Henyard, but the township meeting was abruptly canceled 30 minutes after it was scheduled to begin. Henyard was in the house, but went out a back door with Freeman in her wake.
Keith, we'd like to talk to you or Supervisor Henyard about some of the questions. You've been the township assessor for more than 10 years now.
Right.
Hey, would you call this a functional government?
Not totally, no.
Transparent?
Not really.
Are you
Everybody is scared over in Thornton. What does she got running over there? What the hell is happening? What the heck is happening? Why has she got people running scared over there in Thornton Township? What is happening? Huh? Why do Keita, what kind of death grip do she got on people? What is she doing? Why is everybody so scared? I see fear in this woman's eyes right here. I see fear in this woman's eyes. She just trying to get in there and do her job. Stressed out, blessed out. Good, baby, you don't need that type of stress. You know that type of stress will kill you.
concerned about how money is being spent?
Yes.
Here's what happened when we questioned Henyard in November.
All right, any other questions?
So you're not going to answer how taxpayer dollars are being spent? That seems odd.
I just answered it. What do you mean? I just answered your questions.
You said you wouldn't answer about Las Vegas.
You asked me a question and I responded. So any other questions you may have?
What's up, Doc? Do you want to be on camera or no? Be on camera? You don't want to be? All right, hold on. Let me see. Doc, you want to be on camera? You want to be on camera or no?
You know what? No, I don't want to be on camera. I'm not looking presentable in my personal
You look cute. You look gorgeous.
Thank you. You know what? Let's do it. You might as well. I'm gonna keep it 100 for you.
All right, cool.
Let
me bring you up, baby. You want me to wait till you put the? I'm gonna wait till you put the lip gloss on because I want to get you at your best. Yeah, Doc. You ready?
Yes.
All right. Let me see if I can get you up here real quick. Okay. What's going on, Doc? Move over.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Here we go. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you also for covering. I've been following you for some time now.
Oh, you're so sweet. I appreciate you. So, Doc, I got to ask you a question, right? So, how does the process work as far as when you get elected and when they decide to pick whoever it is that's a part of their staff and stuff like that? How does that work?
Okay, so yeah, so basically what happens is when she became the mayor, she decided to, put together her staff, her cabinet, so to speak, right? So I did not start off as the chief of staff, which is really interesting. I actually started off as the public relations individual. So the former chief of staff was a friend of mine. I did not know Tiffany from a can of paint, just being totally honest. Um, at the time when they contacted me, it was during a young lady by the name of Alexis Wilson. I'm not sure if you followed that story. She was shot and killed by Dalton police.
Okay.
And Tiffany had made she did a press conference. She said some controversy things, like she stood with the police department. And, quite naturally, a 19-year-old girl shot and killed by Dalton police. She's on camera saying she's standing with the police department. So this resulted in petitions, protests and things of that sort, petitions being passed at her home, at Village Hall, etc. So what she did, she needed to hire a publicist at that point, because the last publicist she had quit on her.
Okay.
So I met with Tiffany at a coffee shop under the, I was referred by the girl who was her chief of staff. I talked to Tiffany, and, as you can see, she's quite charismatic. So I believed everything she said. I'm like, why are they attacking her when she was told to read some statement? And I felt that she needed a little coaching, a little polishing, things of that sort. Well, once I became her publicist, she ended up falling out with that particular chief of staff. And, it was me. I was the one still there. And I was kind of doing the work anyway, because I was writing her speeches. I was communicating with the community. I was the one putting her events together, things of that sort. So she asked me, would I mind coming on full time as her chief of staff? I said, let me think about it. And then I said, why not? Sure. So how that works is the mayor actually has right to hire for her cabinet the day-to-day operations. So that means whether it's a chief of staff, village administrator, who her department heads are, those people she has right.
Okay.
Other people, you have to go through the board. And that's where that becomes an issue, because she had a habit of not sending the employees through the board. So can she pick her people? Absolutely. But you generally should go through the board, and she didn't do that.
So, because I know that she had a lot of support, even some of the trustees, I had an opportunity to speak with some of them on the phone. Some of the trustees, before she got elected, they all kind of was aligned, because they didn't know, I guess, what was communicated to me was that they didn't realize that she was who she was until she wound up getting in the position that she's in now. But a lot of them were kind of on the same, I guess, had the same perspective and the same agenda prior to her actually taking the positions that she has now. Is that an accurate assessment?
Yeah. So for example, Trustee House, he was on board with her. Trustee Ed Steve, former trustee Ed Steve, he was on the board with her as well. The other, and Andrew Holmes, he was already on the board. But here's the deal. When you're a trustee, it's kind of one of those, and let me go on record and say it's not right, but it's always kind of been for quite a few years, a trustee versus mayor type of, split down the middle. You know what I mean? Now, Tiffany puts on a good front. She puts on a good front. She comes off as, she could be likable. She tells a good story. She tells a good game. So when she got with that team, they were like the dream team. She's like, all right, listen, we're going to do some change. We don't, we're going to work together, and, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Now, where it gets tricky is Tiffany has a habit of being a little power struck. So once Tiffany started getting, some press, and, people saying, oh my God, she's the first woman to do this. Oh my God, she's the youngest to do that. And now she's the shiny new kid on the block to the world of the media. She started to forget the people who helped her get there, which was those trustees. And not just her trustees have this same issue. She had a team of people that were out with her, passing petitions, out there with, putting out, campaign literature, giving their time, keep in mind, for free, to help her get into this place. And then once she got the seat, she kind of code switched.
So the people really believed in her. Like, they really believed that she was going to get in there and do a good job and everything.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing, and I will go on record and say this: the Tiffany that we see today, that is not the Tiffany from 2 years ago.
What was she like 2 years ago?
See, 2 years ago, she was like, she was green. She's always been a little green. But that girl on that picture right there at the bottom, that was Tiffany 2 years ago. Not the glam, not the, she was, low-key cool. She had some areas that you can work on. But now she's been empowered to believe she's the most powerful woman in the Southland, when the reality of the matter is Thornton Township is a platform for government assistance. It's literally a big public aid office for the community. The Thornton Township is literally where you go for financial assistance. So
Mhm.
why she believe that makes her the most powerful woman in the South Side? Let me tell you why. Any person that will believe that the Thornton Township supervisor position makes you the most powerful person is if you're using it for malicious intent.
Mhm.
So like if let's say a mayor of, I'm just going to say Harvey, for example,
Yeah.
if a mayor of Harvey call her because they're the holders of the food pantry, and if you, so they call her and say, hey, can you give us 500 food boxes to give to the community, and she doesn't like you, then she won't give you the 500 boxes. She
Mm.
will go give the 500 boxes herself that has her name on it. She has all this. So now what happens is the people see, they don't know where the food is really your food. The
Mhm.
food is your money, it's your taxpayer money.
Yeah.
So the reality is, but if you're giving it to a person who doesn't know any better and the box has her name on it, it's gonna look like it's her food that she's giving you. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I
saying?
see that. I
So
see.
she used it as you said it greatly. This was a few you said it's a finesse. She
Yeah.
utilized the position because it does come with resources. So if I'm giving you, rental assistance, that seat, that's what it's there for.
Mhm. Yep. Yep.
Whoever's sitting in that seat can give you rental assistance. That doesn't mean she's doing anything magical. That just means she's utilizing it. She knows how to brand really well. So she knows how to make it look like she's giving you the rental assistance when the reality is the state had already allocated her funds to do so.
When did you realize I need to get the heck up out of here?
So
When did you start catching clues of it? Like, oh
I'm
man,
a
this is going bad.
look, it was around 4 months in, bro. Like when I tell you, listen, I had to take a drink on that. When I tell you, and I tried to help sis. Like when I say because I really believed in her. It's not even the woman thing. It's about, I really feel that Tiffany has the potential to relate to the community.
Mhm.
Tiffany had the potential to really do something with the tools and opportunities. Look at it like this. You had a board, a dream team that ran with you. Jason House, a
Yep.
financial guru.
Yep.
He
I
knows the
researched him. I
numbers.
know all about his background. Yep.
But here's the catch. Kiana Belcher is too. Kiana Belcher manages a $30 million budget for her job.
Mhm.
The girl, and she's a thorough resourcer. I mean, she researched her butt off. She knows how to go out and get stuff. She a bad sister. And then you have Brittany Norwood. She is a real estate investor, so she knows the real estate game like the back of her hand, right?
Mhm.
And then you have Tammy Brown, who is a 30-year HR professional.
Yep. So
With
she
one
had
of the
everything that she
longest,
needed in order to be successful.
she had the whole thing, but here's the problem. And this is something that, and I hate to say it like this, y'all, don't beat me up too bad. That is the problem with us. Sometimes we don't learn to network across with what we have. We start to glorify those who we feel are above us. And
Mhm.
then you try to get up there and say, oh, I want to kick it with the Tony Preckwinkles, all these high name people, thinking that those are the people that's going to get you there. But the reality is you had the people you need and you're just starstruck. So what she did, she
No,
starstruck.
you in the right place. My people, my audience, they agree with everything that you're probably saying right now.
Yeah, like she's starstruck. So she get here. So now she want to go kick it with the Obamas. She want to go kick it with Biden's and all this stuff. And I'm like, she's sitting here, and then she'll probably come back and say, Biden say I'm the best mayor ever. When the reality is, he probably didn't even remember the conversation you all had.
Absolutely
And
not.
that, so it's like you out here looking for selfies
Yeah.
when you need to be here in your town looking how to balance this budget because you in the red.
Did you what was some of the red flags that you would notice?
Her mouth.
Really?
Her mouth. So Tiffany has a very disrespectful mouth. So the stuff that you see with the trustees, and this is where it went down. I'm gonna just tell you, and this can be verified because I put it in my letter of resignation that day. She
Did
has
you?
oh listen, we almost got into a fist fight So her mouth is extremely disrespectful. So at the time, my father-in-law had fell gravely ill,
Okay.
and he lived in Michigan. So my husband and I had to drive to Michigan literally every weekend. Keep in mind, weekend, to go check on him. That's Monday through Friday. Tiffany's the type that wants you to work for her, have your phone on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have literally received calls at 1 o'clock in the morning for flyers. She runs her staff like a dictatorship, and then when you don't do what she say, she'll tell you she's gonna fire you. That didn't work for me because I didn't work. Keep in mind, I came on as a publicist, which means I'm an entrepreneur.
Right.
Sis, I don't need that 50-something thousand dollars that you, I ain't gonna say I don't need it. Let me be clear.
No, I
need
understand what
we
you're
all need
saying.
money, but that wasn't motivating me. I have
Yeah.
other sources of income. So what she usually do is she go get people who need the money that she's paying them so she can kind of use them as puppets.
She can
And
control.
then so she'll tell you, if you don't do what you say, I'm gonna fire you. I'm gonna fire you. I'm gonna fire you. So back to my father-in-law. So my father-in-law is falling sick. So I had to go down there out of town a lot on the weekends. This is not through Monday to Friday. However, she wanted to do an event during this time. So at the time, I told her I can't make the event, but I put her all the way at third base. You have a team of other people. Here you go, sis. Let them work it out, things like that. Now, I know I'm good at my job, and she did want me around, and sometimes she just did not trust other people to deliver. I get all that. But guess what? Right now, I'm on my husband's time because at the end of the day, he's the number one priority in my life, ma'am, not
Facts.
you.
That's a fact.
So I come back. And then add that to the fact I also have lupus. So I ended up getting sick and I had a heart attack. I'm off of work and I wasn't even off of work that much. I'm still off work maybe 2 days in addition to that weekend. Next thing you know, I come back to a meeting. There's a meeting and it's myself in a room, Keith Friedman in a room, the event planner is in the room, her security detail is in the room, her cousin who works for her is in the room, and her 2 other assistants at the township. They're in the room. She told me to just start taking my blood pressure pills because that's no excuse to call off of work.
What?
I hit her with my man. So at this point,
No. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me.
This is on the life of my children. This is what she told me in the room with those people. That's why I called it out. So,
Jeez, oh, peace.
yeah, she's heartless when it comes to stuff like that. She gets in this mold where she act like she just doesn't care. It's all about Tiffany. It is the Tiffany show. She does that.
When did that change though? Because it wasn't y'all. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't like that prior to her actually getting in the position.
It wasn't. It was once she became supervisor.
So you think the
Now,
money changed her?
If you really want to, I'm gonna make you famous real quick. All right, so let me tell you the story about the supervisor. So I got a call from someone who was in the know that a call had came across the airwaves that a high-ranking official just passed away in his home. I went in the office. I told Tiffany, this was January 3rd, 2022.
Okay.
I went in there and told Tiffany, I say, I just got a call. Zuccarelli just died. Now, Zuccarelli was that dude, right? He was a guy who had this seat for 30-something years.
So he was the supervisor that she replaced.
But not only was he the supervisor, he was also the Thornton Township committeeman, but he was also over the the college, South Suburban College. So he was quite literally the most powerful individual because, and let me explain what it is, not because of the money, although he made the bag, it was because of the jobs. So here's the thing, between those two, the college and the township, that's about 200 jobs, right? So if you want somebody to go out there and do work for you and worship you and everything, you can literally hire them to do that. And if you're giving them enough wage and they're loyal to you, they're going to go out and work for you even if it's for free sometimes.
So it's a power play.
It's a power play. So we go, she said, let's go. Now, mind you, I know you heard about the police car thing. So here's the deal. The mayors and people like that, they get plates. They're M plates. Police plates are MP plates.
Okay.
He has a car with an MP plate on it. She wasn't supposed to, but her security detail is an actual police officer. So now she has MP plates.
Oh.
So she asked me to find out where's Zuccarelli, right? I said, he's still at the house. They're going to pick him up. Like, he's in the house. He died in the home.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, let's go. So when we get there, we pull up on his block. The police got the barricades. They got the block pulled off because everybody's outside, because he was a guy that was, loved by many.
Yeah, he was a big dog.
Yeah, but she got MP plates. So what they do, they moved a little barricade, let him through the Blue Code Act, right? So we in there, we at the crib. We're at this man's house. He's in the crib. He's still in the house. They hadn't removed his body yet.
Mm-hmm.
I have never in my life felt more uncomfortable in a position, because I felt that, for one, this is a personal matter. This is for family, close people. We're not supposed to be here. Sis out there finessing. She out there hugging everybody, kissing babies, praying with the family. She working on move. And it's January 3rd. It's the coldest day ever. I am so uncomfortable. So she out there, she get next to, his wife. She out there with the family. They finally remove his body out, and they take him, and then that was it. So we went to go get something to eat. While we're at the restaurant, she's asking me to type up the letter from my phone so she can immediately get the statement out first. And include that he's her mentor. He's like a father to her, the whole, kid and caboodle. And, I don't really know. Mind you, I didn't know these people from a can of paint. So I'm just typing it up because if you'd have saw the way she was out there performing, you would have thought that he, like he
really was that role in her life.
Yeah. Yeah. So got the statement out. I got the statement out so fast that I got the statement out so fast that I had put the wrong year on the on
a statement.
On a statement, because, and it went out like that because she checking and she like, yeah, she just wanted to get it out first. And I usually don't make mistakes like that, but I did because, quite naturally, I'm moving fast. So
Well, you typing it up on your phone?
Yeah, I'm moving it on my phone. So the next day she didn't come into the office. And then the day after that, which was so that was the 3rd, the 4th, she didn't come into the office. And then the 5th, she came and got me. And she wanted to talk outside of Village Hall. And she told me she's going to be the next supervisor. Get her ready. And next thing you know, I got her former stylist back on the phone, and got a photographer. I put together a whole photo shoot, and I started sweeping through her social media pages and redoing her flyers, making sure her pictures are on everything. That's what I do as a publicist. So making sure she cute, because she used to be out there bogus. You know what I'm saying? And so I made sure she was polished, and then next thing you know, she became a supervisor. Now, mind you, this is a position you have to apply for. This is a position that you have to be selected and voted on. How she knew she was going to get this seat, I don't know. But I'm going to tell you this. She told me 2 days after this man was in the ground that she would be that supervisor. Now, could she have manifested? Absolutely. My guess is she.
Come on now. Come on now. Like, Ray Charles can see that. I mean, real talk. Like, that's crazy. So what was the final straw? Like, what made you say, you know what, I'm getting up out of here. This is it. This is the end of the road for me.
Right. So she became a supervisor. And when I saw, she became a totally different individual. I've watched her lie to people. I've watched her, literally berate myself, staff members, employees, at the other facility. Like, she walked through the township and literally was like, I'm finna fire her. I'm firing him. I'm firing this person. I'm firing that person. And it's weird. Like, it was like a swap meet. Like, I was offered, like, I ain't gonna say she don't take care of her people, because
well, yeah, of course you're gonna take care of the crew. You're gonna take care of the crew.
I could have had whatever position I wanted, but my integrity is my integrity. So when I'm watching all this come down, I'm like, you know what? I ain't really rocking with sis like that. Like, the way I'm watching, she moving like a dirty politician. So this particular day, I'm at work. This is after that meeting I told you about that, she told me to get my blood pressure pills. This is the next day. I'm downstairs at Village Hall, and I'm in there. So the Village Hall is an old bank. Let me to
Mhm.
give you some. So downstairs is like the bunker. That's the way the bank was made.
Okay.
So there's a glass door. You got to either be buzzed in or you got to open a door or whatever to get downstairs into the downstairs area. So where my office was. So
Okay.
I'm in my office, and Kiana, the trustee Belcher,
Mhm.
she was downstairs visiting HR. So I'm talking to Kiana, no big deal, whatever. And then, I went on about my day and that was it. Well, next thing you know, later that day, Tiffany had a meeting. We had a meeting, her and I, with a business owner in the area at 2:00. I'd never forget this day. So I go, and I'm glad I could talk about this now. I feel so much better. I could talk about this without, because last time I talked about this, I was crying. But I could talk about it now because it's been some time.
Yeah.
So I go upstairs to, introduce myself to the business owner that we were meeting with. And I said, she's downstairs. I'll go get her. You can go in the conference room. We'll be back. When I come downstairs, it's Tiffany, the IT guy, Tiffany security detail, and Keith Freeman all staring at a security camera in the basement.
Okay. So
And
wait, stop there. Don't go there. Don't go.
mhm,
So let me ask you a question, because I just need
mhm.
a context. Is that normal to have security detail?
For a mayor, no. The mayors before then didn't have that. It depends on the type of mayor. Mayor Johnson, absolutely.
Okay.
Tiffany is Dalton.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, if you go into Chicago, it's much different than going to Dalton. And that's
Yeah.
why I was wondering, like, what is this security detail thing? I don't understand that.
Well, she wanted security detail after the Alexis Wilson matter because she felt when the people were protesting her house that her life was in danger. She just never got rid of it after that.
Oh, okay. Okay, so y'all down there. Go
So
ahead.
we down there, they're reviewing the security camera. I come downstairs. I'm like, hey, Tiff, the 2:00 upstairs, you ready? And I'm getting ready to go into my office to grab my computer, my notes and stuff, because I'm going to talk to her later. I already had on the calendar that I need to give her this letter of resignation, tell her I'm going to quit. But business is business first,
Yeah.
at the end of the day. So she come and say, you stupid bitch. I'm sorry. Can I say it on your page?
Yeah, you can. You can say whatever you want to say.
Okay, yeah. She's like, you stupid bitch. Why would you let Kiana downstairs and woo, 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 woo? And all, I said,
Well,
first of
she
all,
said that to you?
yeah. Tell me, you can't let them downstairs. They the op. You out here cooning for the ops and woo, 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 woo. And I'm like, first of all, she an elected official. Her name on the door. Secondly, who are you calling a bitch? So
Right.
that's it. It went left real quick. So the security and Keith got in between us, and I just laughed and said, you know what? I could beat you way more ways than,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
fighting you
yeah.
physically, ma'am. So I
Absolutely.
literally went downstairs, left my laptop, left my computer, left my phone, sent that letter of resignation, and I was deuces. And I had another job, way higher position, within 24 to 48 hours, because that's who I am. And I don't
Well,
mean that from a
you
place
already
of,
good. I could tell that you're great at your job, and you're great at what you might need to have to come work for me. On the real. Listen,
let's talk out loud, bro. Like
yeah,
when I
we
tell
we could kick it. We might have to make that move. We'll kick it after offline. So, all right. So let me pivot. So, what's the sentiment there now? Like, what are the people? Okay, well, I'm gonna ask that question in a second. Let me ask another question. What is the sentiment that's happening now that all of this has started coming out? Like, when did the cracks start to really fold? And then, what do you think that the people is feeling, or that people that's on her team starting to feel like? Because it seemed like everything is just kind of falling down on her head right now.
Tiffany's a liar, and I think that's what people are feeling. Also, they're feeling that Keith Freeman manipulates, and he's the puppet master of everything. So the support that she had, and it was a lot of support because she was a cute kid, but I
Mm.
believe she's quickly losing that because she's also spending a lot of unnecessary money. For example, we're in Dalton. We don't need an skate rink, sis, when you got water main breaks every day. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
heard it was like
These people
7
are
different water
doing,
main breaks, and they were saying that, man, we don't have the funding to really be able to work the way that we want to work.
now on the flip side, you got a group of people who think, oh, it looks pretty. But they not thinking, but you also got to consider the demographics. Some people may not be financially savvy enough where they think that just because it looks pretty, that's progress. Yeah, it looks pretty, but then it's empty all the
Mhm.
time. There's no ROI on this matter.
No,
It
that's a
just looks
horrible
pretty.
investment. It's a
It's
horrible
a
investment.
horrible, right? Especially when there's an ice skate rink right up the street in the next town over.
That's insane. That is crazy.
I'm
Okay.
talking less than 3 minutes.
So recently there's been a report come out that basically said that she introduced some kind of, I don't know if it was legislation, I don't know what kind of rule that she put in to where basically whoever it was that got the position, if she was to ever get kicked out of the position as supervisor, that they would only make $25,000 a year. Is that true? Is that an accurate thing?
Yeah, it's accurate. She did that. So basically what she did was because so the way it generally went is Frank Zuccarelli, the previous supervisor, had that seat for 30 something years. So quite naturally, he had the seat so long that the seat, the cost of living or whatever you want to call it for that
Yeah.
seat
It
went
just
all the way
naturally
up to
appreciated over a period of time.
naturally appreciated. So what happens is, had she ran against Zook and won, she would have came in at a smaller salary anyway, not 25,000 smaller, but she would have came in at a slightly smaller salary anyway, and she'd have to work her way back up.
Yeah.
Now, what she did was she want to be petty because, from what I understand, she realistically knows that she's not going to continue to
Of course she
get
not.
that. Yeah, she knows she's not going to get that seat again. But she went and she had a law, because remember, all the people on the board except one are on her side. You get what I'm saying? They're gonna vote for whatever she wants. So she's basically gangster in the town. So what she's doing, she changed the salary, saying that, and people keep saying 224. Sis, realistically, on that side is bringing in about 312. If you do the numbers, and she get a per diem, she gets a stipend, she gets all this other stuff, not just W-2. She should be claiming it because
Yeah.
she's not doing
Because it's
but
not
that's
really,
another
she's not
story.
really using it the way that she's supposed to use it. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but
So
what
she
she
really
did-
getting way more than they saying that she getting.
Oh, she's getting at least 100,000 more, at least when all the numbers are down. Yeah, but what she's doing. So what she did was she had them to vote on a ordinance that basically changes the salary. So if somebody run against her and beat her, it goes down to 25,000. And then if a trustee run and beat the current trustees, they go down to 5,000.
What?
$5,000? Yes. Yes.
So she's basically basically incentivizing people to sit on the sidelines instead of trying to
Exactly.
run against her.
Exactly. So she's discouraging people so they won't run against her. But here's the catch. On the flip side, because keep in mind, I'm a publicist, so I know strategy. She really screwed herself there, because if I was a taxpayer and I'm living in Thornton Township, I'm gonna vote against her just to lower the salary, period.
Yeah, because you want to reduce the
I
expenses
want her
that it really
gone.
take. Yeah. That's
So she screwed herself. That
crazy.
wasn't smart.
So okay, so what about the way that she goes about spending on a general basis? Like, obviously the news was reporting that she going over to Vegas and all of this other type of stuff. Is she actually really doing the work over in Vegas? Like, because it's one thing to be able to justify it on paper. You can say, okay, we're going over there to try to bring some business over to Thornton. Now, obviously, I know I'm savvy enough. I got enough political connections. I got enough friends in high places to actually be able to understand what's really going on, right? But in a general sense, is it really a play? Like, is it just, we about to go party, we about to go have fun? Or is she actually doing a little bit of work out there in order to justify the trip itself?
I'm so glad you asked that. Let's talk about the Vegas trip, all right? For example, the Vegas trip is a recon trip. So basically what the Vegas trip was is called ISSC, I think, or whatever. It's a recon trip. So basically what that trip is a trip for municipalities to attend. Say you want to bring a Whole Foods, a Panera Bread, a Chick-fil-A to Dalton. You notice I said Dalton and Thornton Township. Stay with me for a second with that.
Yep, I'm with you.
You want to bring those to Dalton. You go to a conference like this because it grants an opportunity for you to speak with these individual decision makers one-on-one, and with the opportunity to bring in a meeting back to your village or town or city and hopes of bringing a business, right? She's gone twice. She went to Vegas and did it. The first year she went and she took all these people from the township with one person, which is Andrew Holmes from Village of Dalton. She went again, she took all these people from the township, and then she brought one person from the village, which is Andrew Holmes. However, here's where that's a problem. Thornton Township, as remember I told you, is public aid.
Correct.
At the end of the day, They have no reason, no authority, no business being at this conference. If you're gonna go, what interest do they have in economic development? If you were smart, it was a conference. Who should have gone was Tiffany, Kiana Belcher, Jason House. At the time, Jason House was the economic chair. So at that time, she took all these people who were not qualified, knew no knowledge, and then you finding out they're at Roof Chris and they're doing all this. And then I can tell you with authority, when I've gone to conferences as such with her from the village of Dalton, I'm the one at the classes, she in the hotel room. So because I can put that on my resume and go work for another city, know how to run it.
Why she ain't? Why? Okay, so she got to at least go to the conferences.
She gotta go. Yeah, she go for the photo ops like she did with this thing with Biden. That was the same. That was the conference in New York, for mayors and managers. So basically, what she do? She come out for the photo op stuff. She don't never sit in any classes because if you notice, whenever someone asks her for a question regarding, I'm gonna let Keith handle that. Or I'm gonna let my attorney handle that. You know why? Because she does not know.
Oh my gosh.
So when she says she's just the face, she's standing on business with that. She's literally just the face. She trusts people, smart people around her to do these things, do the research and all of this stuff. And then they talk for her and she sit there and say, yup. And then all she do is come back with the savvy sarcasm.
Did she bring any business back in either of the years that she went?
Not one business. Not one business.
Jesus Christ.
Which lets me know she didn't go to any classes, which lets me know she didn't do any meetings. She can't even show you, because if she say, hey, I talked to Chick-fil-A, at least show proof that you talked to XYZ individual from Chick-fil-A. He said no. She can't even do that because she didn't do it.
What do you think is going to happen next? How do you think that it's going to play out?
I hate to see it because I feel that she has allowed Keith Freeman, in my personal opinion, to advise her, because he's her advisor, advise her way into the state penitentiary. And I don't want to see the sis go to jail, and go away.
It ain't, but that ain't got
somebody's mom.
It ain't that ain't you. Listen, this is what I want you to know, Keita. All right, and I appreciate you, and you are always welcome to come on this platform, and we're gonna kick it offline. But this is the thing that you also got to realize, is that all of this is self-inflicted from her.
Yep.
This ain't your fault. This ain't the people's fault. It ain't the people that surround her. This is all based off of the decisions that she's making. So if she's out here pointing the blame at people and holding other people accountable for her decisions, then she gonna have to eat that.
Yeah, true.
Do you think that and I guess this is kind of in reference to her, but it's basically kind of like a cautionary tale, because I've talked to obviously other people that has gone through a lot as a result of getting too much too fast. Do you think that if she would have gotten a position 10 years from now, maybe, that she may have been mature enough to be able to handle it? Or do you think that this is just always in her and it's just certain people that's not built for certain power or positions because they always going to take advantage of it?
I think that, like you said, here's the thing. With those positions, there are organizations here in the state of Illinois. If a woman, it's called the Illinois Institute of Women or Training or something, but women leadership or something like that. It's an organization where if you want to run for an elected position, you should enter this class. The class is actually free. You just need a referral from 2 elected officials. I believe that she should have gone through those trainings. Until she goes through those trainings, she's going to be no good to nobody. And I don't believe she would have been willing to get those trainings. So 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 5 years from now, 2 years from now, I don't think, if she's been in this position 2 years and she's going through all this and she has yet to get any training, not even media training, I believe that she doesn't have the will, the desire, the interest, nor motivation to get any type of training. Therefore, I don't think she would be any good 10 years from now, but it's on her. Do she have the potential? Absolutely. But do I think she would have put the legwork in it? Absolutely not.
There's some obviously speculation and stuff like that. And I don't expect for you to know this or anything, but I got to ask just because I'm always curious. And this is just all of the things that I can think of in my head. And so while I got you here, I want to get as much as get as much
for sure.
as I can. It's people that's saying that her payroll and the people that surrounding her and the people that's her security and all of this, that maybe she really in a relationship with some of these people. Is that true? I'm gonna ask you. I gotta ask.
I thought the same thing. That's what
Is
I
she
can say.
busting it down for a real one?
I mean, she a friendly girl, so it's like, okay, I don't know, bro. I don't know. And not my business.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. When did you start to see like what was the first sign of the media starting to really catch on to everything that was happening? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, like this is not supposed to happen. This is supposed to happen in Chicago, New York. This is supposed to be happening at a much larger scale. To have this happen in Dalton is crazy to me, right? When did you first start to see the media start to catch on with this whole thing?
Bro. Well, remember, I came in with her during a media storm. So it was it's kind of funny because shout out to Dane Flacco, Fox 32 News. He got my personal cell phone number. Funny story. So when the story broke about her, hiring the guy with the background, the media. So when I found out about the incident, the incident, he was convicted. So I can say that I found out about his background watching a board meeting, just like you guys do. And I saw it in the comments. People were putting like the case number up and stuff. And I'm reading it. You know how you sitting there like, wait a minute, what? Because, at first I'm reading some of the comments and they funny,
Yeah.
The people, I promise, they hilarious. But I read that and it stuck out and someone put it up again. So I wrote the case number down. I wrote everything and screenshotted the comment and I called the meeting with her and the guy. So I go in the meeting. I said, look, you got 48 hours. I said, if it caught my attention and at the time it was only maybe 200 people online. I said, this is going to be world news. It's just newsworthy. So you need to tell me the truth. Well, 48 hours to the day. Here it is, Dane Flacco outside of Fox.
Oh my gosh.
And when I tell you it was an experience, I'll say that to say the least. But at that time, she had me. So it came, it went away.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago. So for it to be big news now, it took about a year and a half to kick in. So one of the things I learned when it comes to media, and I actually need to do a class on this, don't run from them. Give them a statement, say something. She made it worse for herself once I was gone after she refused to give statements or lie to the media. Because one thing about us, we know how to pull your background, all that other stuff. So it's like, okay, in the beginning, the media came, that was in maybe October 21. And it stopped coming around because I had her to do a town hall and address it. It stopped around end of November 21. She became the supervisor in March because she said she was going to be in January. March, she became the supervisor. She was begging for media to come and cover her becoming a supervisor.
Why?
They wouldn't come.
Why wouldn't she just be
I told her
quiet?
that. I said, and I told her, and let me tell you, she told me that I was incapable of securing media.
Why would she want visibility into what she got going on when she could have just quietly did what she was doing, get into not saying that what she was doing was right, but why would you bring visibility when you know you don't want visibility? Because when people look, they don't just look at what you got on the surface. They looking at everything, right? When I first discovered her, when people started sending it to me, because they was flooding my inbox with it, and they're like, Anton, you got to check this out, you got to react to this, you got to look into this or whatever, right? And when I first started seeing it, the first thing that I'm looking at is, oh, okay, so she want to be a star. And I reacted to it like a joke, like, look at this chick, she trying to be all in the news, she trying to be a city girl or whatever, so on and so forth, right? Then when that started popping off, I got friends that's also big time YouTubers and stuff like that. And like, Anton, what you think about this? What's going on with this? And so it kind of snowballed because then people start digging into all of the other stuff. But I don't know why she wanted that visibility in the first place. That is weird to me.
Rule of thumb: when you invite the media into your house, you let them use your bathroom. When they go in your bathroom, they're in your medicine cabinet. So she wanted this. So she kept doing these like gas giveaways and stuff like that. She wanted call the media. And I'm telling her, like, why don't you put a press release out on yourself, not to the to a newsletter, not a press release. I'm sorry. put a newsletter out. If you want the community to know about it, your community is the ones who really need to know about it. You can do stuff like that. And it was my bad idea to suggest her to do a magazine, but to highlight. Now, this was my intention when I told her to do the magazine. Create a magazine, talk about all the things that are going on in the community, talk to different entities, give them their own corner, an entrepreneur corner, right? So you can highlight local businesses, the park district, the intergovernmental agreement corner, so you can like highlight what's going on at the park, like kind of make it a community thing. Happy birthday to the 102-year-old lady. Make it like that. Sis put out this magazine with all pictures of herself.
Jesus
So
Christ.
it's like that makes you look like a narcissist for one.
Oh no, it is narcissistic, 100%.
Yes. So it's like, it's awful. So to answer your question about the media, I tried to keep the media off of her. So it looked like it really kicked up around the time that she got recalled. And it just never really got off of her.
What was the play though? Because okay, so let's say for example she get more visibility or whatever like that, right? Because she wanted to be famous. Obviously she wanted to be famous. But then to what end, right? Because if she already got the position, if she already getting the money, if she already making 300 plus almost $400,000 when you combine positions, is the play for her to go to a bigger city or get a different position? What is the play? What's the point? If you had to guess, what was the point of her getting more visibility?
And I don't mean this disrespectfully. I think it's daddy issues or something, because it almost seemed like she's seeking validation for something. And I'm just saying that, and again, and I don't mean that as shade. I really
No, you
don't.
just calling it like it is.
Yeah, it's given daddy issues. It's given that she wasn't hugged enough. She wasn't told she was awesome enough. And she needs to hear that. She needs to hear that she's powerful. She needs to hear, some girls like, when they go through breakups, then they go through that like whole phase where, now they would post the pictures and, showing all their goods and goodies and things of that sort. I believe she's seeking validation for something, no matter what it is. I think it's seeking validation to say, I'm great, I'm good, see me, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And it's coming off real bad. And then again, I have to call it on her team, because we used to literally clash, because I will say, that makes sense to you? When she give me an idea that she want to do, and I don't mean it, and I say it like that, I don't mean it disrespectfully.
No, you calling it like it is.
Does this make sense to you? I want to get into your head and let me know what you were thinking when you came up with this stupid ass idea. Because what I'm not gonna do is have you out there looking bad, because my job is to protect my integrity and yours.
Yeah,
she doesn't have anyone that's doing that.
You need people like you on the team, because you was basically protecting her from herself. And you wasn't a yes man. And see, the problem what I see with those type of people is that they like to surround themselves with people that just tell them what they want to hear instead of telling them what's best for them. And you were telling her what's best for her. And so I'm assuming that with her being drunk off power, she wanted people to tell her what she wanted to hear. And that's the reason why she got her in this. That's what she said?
Yes.
But she not paying you. That's the taxpayer dollars. She acting like she running her own business out here. What the heck is going on? What you mean you paying me? You not paying me.
That part.
This is weird, Doc. This is absolutely.
And that's why when you were trying to reach for her, it was so funny, because I'm like, please get her on the show, because she needs someone to talk to her and give her the real.
Oh, I know. I talk to her people, right? And
yeah, you'll never get her on the phone, because she can't have an intelligent conversation with you.
Yeah, I talk to her people, and it's funny because
you talk to fast talking Keith. You probably
I talk to her people.
Yeah,
and it's funny because she reached out to people that was around, or her people or whatever reached out to people that was around me, and but I think she definitely afraid of me at this point, because, and again, I talked to her because I wasn't even talking to her on no, hey, listen, you know what I'm saying? Like if she wanted to do an interview or whatever, that was gonna be on them. But I just wanted to tap in with her and see what her mind was like. Hey, fam, you really barking up the wrong road, because it was people around me that was like, yo, Anton, you should probably just reach out to her and kind of look out for her, right? And so I talked to her people, and she was cool at first, and she was just like, yo, yeah, whatever. Or that's what they were saying, is that she was interested. I dangled a couple carrots out there. I said, yeah, I'm going to put you on a first class flight and all of that. They said, oh, we love first class flights. I said, I bet you do.
We sure you do. But get this, get this. Here's one part. But here's one part. Like I've done the same thing. I've actually, I don't know if you guys know this. I don't, but I've arranged a dinner rather with her, and I still stayed into compliance and a quorum, but with her, Tammy Brown, Brittany
Mm.
Norwood. We all went to dinner one day. We sat down, we had chicken wings, we had a glass of a little wine or whatever. And this was not taxpayer funded, this was out of our pocket.
Yeah.
But we sat down and we talked. I let the ladies talk. It was a great meeting. The trustees explained to her, they said, it's not what you're doing, sis, it's how you're doing it. You're not doing it within compliance. You're not
Yeah.
running things by the board. You're not doing this and that. All we want to do, our job as the trustees, that's what the two ladies told her, is to check the books and balances.
Yeah, to make sure that everything is on the up and up.
They even told her, they was like, when she did this whole remodel in Village Hall, they was like, we're not even mad at, we know Village Hall needed a facelift, but you need to run it by us because we need to make sure we can afford it. So that's what they explained to her. She said her side. She was like, I understand where you're coming from. I'll show you the books. Next day, I get to work the next day. I call her like, hey, I can't get into, Viewpoint so I can, print out, the warrant list and all this stuff. And then I went to the finance lady. She's like, okay, you need to talk to Tiffany. Call Tiffany back. She said, no, we're not doing that shit. I just wanted to hear what they needed to say. We at war. And she wouldn't give it to them.
My God.
That made a liar out of me because they come up there the next day looking for these documents. And, I look like the liar because I was the one that said I was going to give it to them. Her excuse was, as her chief of staff, it's my job to take the L for her. Negative. I'm not going to jail for nobody.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact. Would you ever get back into government? Like, would you ever work for somebody that's an official ever again? Would you ever even put yourself in that position?
Yeah, because she is different from any elected official I have ever seen in the history of politics. So I don't think I got a good I'm not gonna hold that against government.
Oh my God.
I'm not gonna let all elected officials take that L because she's different. I really believe she should have ran for the park or something at another municipality. I believe that she can do, because she throw parties. Sis can throw a party. Like, she know how to do that. So maybe she can be like an official consultant, promoter in community
She should have been on food and beverage like Sam Ross.
Yeah, food and beverage. Over here laughing at me. But no, she can throw a party. Like, she just know how to spend somebody's money, and she can throw a party. I think that. Listen. I ain't even gonna lie to you guys. One that gas giveaway she did, she took all the credit, man. But a dude, that's all I'm gonna say, pulled up and swiped that card for that gas. I'm looking at her like,
oh my God.
I mean, not mad at your get down. How you get down? It wasn't taxpayer funds. I say that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
somebody else's money. Like, she's not politics aside. If it was just all us out and you, me, her, a couple others, if she was and if it was out as a person,
she would be fun.
Yeah, she'd be the funny, like, I know this girl just didn't do that. But when you're playing with people's money, taxpayer hard-earned money,
yeah, that's different.
That's when it's like, no, that's just, it make you a bad person. It's just, that's not cool.
How old is she?
She 40. She not even young.
Why she acting like she 28?
She act like that lady is almost a half a century years old. She is not young. I don't know why people keep saying she's young. She's
because of the way, because it's how she act. That's really what it is. It's that she doing shit that people that don't know no better, that shouldn't know no better, is doing. But she know better, and it's like, what the fuck is you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, she's a psychopath. She's not a politician, and it's dangerous for the people. All jokes aside, it's like they got to get that under control, because if they already at $7 million in debt. Jesus. Here's the thing. This is my thinking. Had she not got a ice rink, had she not paid for all this stupid stuff, she
Nice.
could have paid her water bill in Chicago. You get what I'm saying? She could have got these, main breaks fixed, all this other stuff. But instead, she focusing on stupid stuff. That's kind of like a chick who get her taxes and go buy a bunch of Louis bags when you can go buy a distressed property off of the scavenge sale for that same amount of money, take the rest of the year and fix it up and be good. But no, she don't do that. She think like a
Like
short
yeah.
term, yeah, like them chicks. So she
That's
got
cool.
bad people around her. I say she got bad friends, because that's like, if I'm out here being stupid and don't none of my people who love me pull my coat, I blame them too.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Let me ask you one more question, Doc.
Mhm.
What if you had to guess what the sentiment of the residents there in Dalton was, considering all of the visibility that they getting? If you had to guess, or if you had to give me a general idea of what the sentiment of the people that's in that city is right now, what would you describe that as?
They're embarrassed. There's videos. I'll send them to you. They're literally up there. They go to park meetings. They go to Cook County Commissioner meetings downtown Chicago, and they're asking them for help for Dalton. They
Mm,
are embarrassed. They're hurt. They're hurting. Like, I'm not even an elected official, bro. For my birthday, at least 10 residents made a video telling me happy birthday,
oh,
because
that's
I
dope.
didn't leave them. Because I could have left. Like, I don't live in Dalton, full transparency.
Hmm.
I could have walked away, never looked back, and went on with my life and continued to live well. But I can't leave them out there like that. So I did join in a fight to help them, because I see how they're hurting.
Why don't you
These
run? Why won't you run?
Oh, First of all,
Why you say it like
bro,
that?
you and I both know elected officials realistically don't really make no bread. Let's
I
start
agree.
there.
I agree.
For two, I legally can't run in Dalton because I don't live there.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want to. Here's the thing. You know what they say, number two ain't a bad spot, because
Yeah.
number one deal with a damn lot. But the thing is, she bringing a lot of these problems on herself.
Hmm.
I wouldn't want to be an elected official. I would
I
love
wouldn't
to
either.
consult. I'll consult you. And then look at how we talking right now. I couldn't talk like this if I had a seat.
Yeah.
I'm exercising my First Amendment. I said what I said and I stand on it.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
wouldn't. I can't ever imagine myself ever being in that position. It's
Mm-mm.
it ain't enough money for the headache, and
Mm-mm.
I ain't playing that game. When you coming
Yeah,
back?
the residents actually feel ignored too.
When
So
you coming back on the platform?
when you want me to come back?
Next Friday.
Because we can talk about a few things, we
Next
can, I
Friday.
want to talk to Miss Fani Willis. I want to hit you up.
Yep. 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 I want you back. I want you
Because
back on
people be saying
here.
I look like her. I'm like,
But you know what? Because you give unique insight,
Mm-hmm.
and you give a unique perspective based off of your background and your experience,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and you fun,
Yeah.
and you
Thank
fun.
you.
Don't tell your husband I said that. Tell him to get out the way.
He hear you. He's sitting here laughing.
What's going on, big dog? I appreciate you for letting her come on, bro. Yeah, you got to come back. You got to come back, love. Hey,
All right, sweetie.
I don't know how to contact you. Just email me your information, and then I'll lock
I
you in. I'll
will.
call you this afternoon. You know my email
Okay.
address?
Let me get it right now. Give me 1 second. What's your email, bro?
Anton Daniels 413 at gmail.com. This is my name, Anton Daniels 413 at gmail.com.
413 at Gmail. I got you. I'll shoot you a message in just a little bit.
All right, and then I'm gonna lock you in, and then I'm gonna give you my phone number, and we can kick it.
For sure. All right, bro.
All right, thanks, love.
My pleasure. All right.
So that is my new friend, Dr. Keita. I appreciate her for coming through and blessing us with her presence, her awesome presence. Honestly, I think that girl can be a content creator. I do. I think that she could be a content creator. I think that she has character, personality, insight, understanding. I think that she's very, very smart. I might have to get her on a Monday panel. Something. And that's why I'm saying I love my ladies. I love my ladies. I love my ladies all day long. Hey, Tiff, baby, listen. I'm not your enemy. I'm your friend. I know you watching this right now and you want to understand what it is that I got going on. Listen, I just present the news and I let it come to me. Tiff, baby girl, you're going to have to get in touch with me. It's the best possible thing that you can do. You need to call me. You need to email me. You got my email address. Your people got my phone number. You need to get in touch with me and we got to have a conversation, right? We ain't even got to have a conversation online, right? Let me kick it with you and let me guide you through this. I could be your best friend. I could be your best friend. It could be a great situation for you. You can come kick it in the studio, put you in the best suites, make sure you got a driver, and then I'm going to give you the game. I'm going to put you on with my people so they can fix the situation for you. But you got to open up your heart. You got to open up your mind. You too stubborn. You too caught up in your ways, baby. Listen. You got people around you and they're going to tell you otherwise, but I'm trying to tell you. Listen to the voice that's in your head. I'm speaking to your heart right now. If you don't get in touch with me, who else can you trust? Who else can help you? I'm the angel. You think that I'm the person that's I'm the angel. I'm the person I'm just reacting to what everybody else is saying. You need to get in touch with me because if you ain't getting in touch with me, who else can you get in touch with? I got you. I'm going to take care of you. I'm the person that's going to see it. When everybody else goes away, I'm going to be sitting right here. You about to get the door? Who was that? I'm up here trying to speak to your heart. You're not listening. Because you listening with this and you got ego. But I'm trying to tell you, when everything goes away and all of the media goes away, I'm going to be sitting right here. I'm going to be sitting right here waiting for you. I'm waiting for you. I'm speaking to your heart, not here. Here. Right here. What's up, Mark?
Hi.
What's going on, baby?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
How are you?
Yep. Yeah, she be trying to act like I'm a foreigner, I'm a migrant or something. What is going on, Mark? What's going on? What's happening? How you feel?
I feel great. How do you feel?
I feel good. I'm straight. All right, listen, y'all. I gotta go. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you tap into the Patreon tomorrow. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I got business to take care of and life is lifing. All right, Tiff, hit me up, baby. I got your back. I love y'all. I appreciate. Oh, let me read the super chats. I got to make sure I take care of the people. Got to make sure I take care of the people. Shout out to Jermaine Oliver. Says, Anton, I appreciate the game and the energy. Real men do real things. If a man can't get anything out of your content, there is no hope for him. This is the greatest show on earth. John Doe says, this is what black representation looked like in my Dave Chappelle voice. They should have never gave you ninjas money. My girl, Keita. Shout out to Keita for coming up and showing me love. I got big plans for Keita. I got big plans for my girl, Keita, all right? Doc. I'm calling her Doc. Jawan Hart says, this Tiffany situation is a real-life Boondocks episode. Dre is in the building. What up, Dre? And Andrea says, this woman is doing too much. There's a cold cell waiting for her. Miss Vegas. Shout out to my dog, Dre. Also hit me off again and said, I've got my popcorn ready for these stories. Absolute power absolutely corrupts. Or corrupts absolutely. Super stickers in the building. Shout out to Chris James that showed me love. I appreciate you for the super sticker. Also, William Livingston came through with the super sticker and said, what up, though? I appreciate you. Chris J says, greatest morning show on earth. Bar none. Bar none. There is nobody that's doing it like we doing it. Blaze said, Tiffany crashed on popularity. Adrenaline. Shout out to you. Latrell came through with the fireball and says, Anton, you finna rattle some cages. You out here exposing the truth. Y'all better get this man his give me my $30 million. Give me my $30 million so I can hire Doc and have her as my consultant and taking care of me. Spaces says, I had a video go low-key viral. My first views was 4,200. Shout out to Spaces. Appreciate you. Alexander is in the building, says, we love what that Invisalign can do. Yeah. I'm speaking to their heart, Class E. What up, class? Class EB says, AD, salute. I appreciate y'all. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We doing an Anton Daniels channel tonight. It's going to be popping for my bag chasers. For my Patreon members, I uploaded the live stream from Stock Club last night, this morning, and we popping on that front. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys, and I need y'all to do me one more. Y'all know what I need y'all to do. One more favor before we get up out of here, y'all. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth, and y'all make this the greatest show on earth. I couldn't do it without y'all. There's no way that I could live this life without y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.